Hello, welcome to the second episode of the Compass Cast. We finally decided on a name because last time I said a name that was not the name of the podcast.
Who is this we were talking about?
Hey, whatever. It's a second channel pet project, alright? It's all. But anyway, I am Jeff Compass. I'm a YouTuber. I'm really good at doing podcasts, as you can tell. I'm joined by some guests today.
I am Ninja Star Compass. I'm Jeff's long lost brother, as we all know. I don't know. That's all I gotta say. It's my joke. Move on.
I'm your friendly neighborhood Cardino. I'm just that crazy neighbor that won't shut up about Monkey Ball, I guess.
And I'm a special guest this time, I guess. My name's Mojungo, aka Mo Compass, in a singular Discord that Jeff is aware of.
Yes, so I used to play Mario Sunshine sort of competitively. I used to do speedruns and played bingo and stuff, so I have a lot of friends from that community still. And so what we're going to be doing is every other podcast we will have a guest from those days. So yeah, this week's is Mojungo. We did a Breath of the Wild bingo, me, him, and Ninja. So maybe
fun.
maybe someone out there has watched that. I don't know.
That video literally took 2 days to upload. It was so bad.
Oh, it was pure suffering to even do that. The bingo was so tough.
The video is literally 6 hours.
I think I got 2 goals and then I kind of pieced out.
I won, so it was good. It was a great bingo. Nothing went wrong at all.
The video would have been way shorter if I did give up, because I think I was the last one standing.
You're there for an extra 2 hours.
I respect it. But anyway, speaking about video games, the first segment on this podcast is we'll go around. I guess we'll do it in the order we introduced ourselves and talk about what games we have been playing since the last month. And I don't even know if I've been playing games that much. I've been playing games, but it's been really scattered. I guess I played the new Xenoblade 3 DLC. I beat Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I played a little bit of Metroid last night with Ninja. I haven't really been sitting down and playing one game. I've just been working on a lot of stuff. So I played some Monkey Ball ROM hacks as well. I played Monkey Ball 651 and some other one, Monkey Ball. And that one was better. That one was way better. So it's a variety bag of stuff for me this month.
How was Sonic the Hedgehog 2? Because that's in my pipeline of games to play.
It took me 5 years to beat. Now, I didn't play it for 5 years straight. I just, on and off. But I could always get to the end as far back as 2018. I have a little, side project of trying to beat every Sonic game, the legit way. And I started this project in, 2016, 2017 maybe. And I did Sonic 1, that took me a while. And Sonic 2, I would get to the end, get to Eggman, and die literally every time. Because it's a really hard boss. But I came up with my own strategies for it. It takes 6 minutes to win. But after a long, grueling night of rage, I think Ninja was voice chatting with me. He probably could attest to the rage.
I think I was there too.
Cardinal might have been there. It was a lot of anger. A lot of anger in my head. But I did it. I pulled it off. So that's it for me this month.
I've been playing Metroid Prime for literally 2 weeks straight, I think. Because I was gonna do a different video, and then of course they had to announce a Metroid Prime. I think it's kind of spoilers, but you get the point. Anyway,
this video's coming out a month.
I know.
You also spoiled that's a project you're working on, so that's multiple spoilers.
I mean, it's not very. I technically announced already, but anyway, so I literally beat the remaster and then beat the original immediately afterwards for footage. So yeah, that's fun. And then I'm just working on it right now. I also played Monkey Ball 651 with Jeff. I thought it was fun.
World 6.
It was fun. I was honestly enjoyed it, but the end of World 9 is literally garbage. I just didn't beat it. But
the problem with go on.
The problem with it is literally after World 6, it just becomes speedrunner level design. It's really unfair.
Yeah, the problem with some ROM hacks, and this goes to Mario 64 and whatever as well is like they really sometimes design those for speedrunners, and like the casual experience is just completely lost. Like you need to know like these weird obscure tricks. Like you're mandatory. You have to do 3 corner hops in a row on one level. That was fun. Yeah, that was really fun. But yeah, Cardno, what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
So I know last time I mentioned I've been playing Pikmin 2, and I finally beat that a couple days ago.
Nice.
It was a good game overall, though I do prefer Pikmin 1. I think I said that last time. So.
Yeah, I do too. As people have seen the videos.
And not being Ever, I need to. I very much need to. But, you know.
No.
It is interesting now that we have Pikmin 4 to look forward to. We'll see if they improve on the cave systems. I just feel like the problem with Pikmin 2 is it's like 70% caves and 30% actually like the stuff I like, you know?
Fair.
So I don't know if they have more of a balance of that in the future game. I think I'll like it more.
I can't see them going back to RNG caves. I think the caves will be back, but they're gonna design them by hand this time. That's my prediction.
If they do that, I mean, like, you know, let's just talk about Pikmin yet, I guess. Or we just talk about games that are playing, because I guess I'll wait till later to.
Yeah, we'll talk about Pikmin 4. We'll talk about Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
Or like, but Mojungo, what have you been? I guess you like, you know, since you're not, you know, a recurring member. I guess in the past 30 days, what have you been playing?
Yeah, I've had, man, a mix of games. I like to call this my daily driver because I just play it for, you know, a little bit every day. It's a mobile game, but it's a quality mobile game. Marvel Snap. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one.
That's all I know about it.
I have not.
I've heard of Marvel Snap.
What is it? Is it PC or?
You can play it on PC, but it's mostly a mobile card game. But there's like a beta Steam version I play on my computer sometimes while I'm working, and I like card games. And this one's nice and simple and easy to build decks because the decks are only like 12 cards big, and the rounds or the games only take like 5-6 minutes. But it's I'm not gonna say as complex as like any card game, but it's complex enough that any card game genre fan will enjoy it.
Gotcha.
Cool.
So I'd play that. The game I just recently beat was similar to Ninja, somewhat inspired by the Direct. I played a Professor Layton game.
That makes sense.
So
Cool.
I can talk more about that when we get there in the podcast, because I was really excited when that game was teased. And I bought a Sega Genesis in December, so I was asking Jeff about Sonic 2 because one of the games I've been trying to mess around and beat is Sonic 1. It hasn't been a concerted effort, but every now and then I'll boot up Sonic the Hedgehog for a little bit and try and beat it. And I'm slowly but surely like getting like better at getting further, but I'm just overall trash at video games, so
It's certainly a game.
Not gotten close to the end yet, but making progress. I'm comfortable getting through Marble Hill Zone. As bad as that sounds, I'm comfortable getting through that, no problems. But it is a start, but I am seeing improvement with that. And also, I enjoy... one of the reasons I got the Genesis is it's a great game for sports games, and I like sports games, so...
That's true.
I've been messing around with some golf games on there as well.
Nice.
That's good.
Cool.
I know I kind of started Sonic 1 as well a while. This was like a couple of years ago. I got up to Hydrosity a while back, and that's where I stopped.
Hydrosity? Is that Sonic
or
1?
Labyrinth Stone.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Sonic Furry.
It's a water one.
Okay.
It's a water one.
Okay, Labyrinth Stone sucks. That's like easily the low point of Sonic 1 in my opinion.
Yeah,
That level.
I hate the water levels in Sonic because they're just pure panic, and I am not a very good gamer when it comes to being under pressure and panicking. Like, when I play strategy games, it has to be turn-based. I cannot do RTS, you know? I'm that kind of gamer.
So you wouldn't be like Civilization or...
I can
or
do
anything
Civ.
like that,
Civ
but-
is turn-based.
Oh, is it?
Yes, very much so. I love Civilization, actually.
Okay.
Just not like Command and Conquer. or
I
something
own
like that.
Exactly.
Civilization 5, but I haven't played it, so I should probably do that at some point.
Fair. You should play Civilization 1 on the Engage.
Oh, God.
No.
Civilization 1, man. I wouldn't go back before Civilization 4. just due to quality of life features.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, I guess we can go into videos / I'm opening it up. I'm opening it up to projects now, just projects in general, because not every guest we're gonna get is gonna be a content creator.
Wow, can't believe it.
If you have any creative things, or any of us, we're all doing. I'm sometimes doing second channel stuff or whatever. So I'm opening it up there. So talking about what videos projects, we'll just go in another same circle or square, I guess. I just finished the Drawn to Life video. That video was hell to get out, but I got it out, and I'm already working on the next one. I'm already kind of far into the next one. Been working on finalizing some script, and it's Pikmin related. I did announce that today. I'm in a work mode. I can be known for being a kind of a workaholic sometimes, and I kind of just want to keep working on videos right now. I'm not feeling burnt, so I'm moving on to Pikmin. I won't say exactly what game it is, although this will probably come out like a few days before. So I guess I could. I'm doing a redo of Pikmin 1 because I did Pikmin 1 in 2019, but it was crap. It was a bad review because I had no idea what I was doing, and it was like 9 minutes long. That's not how we do things anymore. So I asked my
30 minutes minimum.
30 minutes. It will be around 30 probably. I did ask my community, like, hey, are you guys cool with me redoing a review that I think I could do better? And it was like a 90% or something, yes, out of like a few hundred votes. So we're doing it.
That 10%, like, nah.
10%'s like,
Yeah, I wasn't at 10%. I want new content.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it's the only redo I'll probably ever do. So
yeah, it's fair.
I get the urge to get that. I think all of us have like old videos where we look back. It's like, man, I could do that so much better today.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the only one. Besides like shovelware, like old videos, I might redo some of those.
Shovelware remastered.
Well, not like but like the topic. So I've already done Lego City Undercover and
You've done Luigi's Mansion, technically.
Oh, Ninja's Band. Yeah, so there was another video. Oh, a Monkey Ball Adventure I also did. But it's like if it's a game I reviewed like basically almost 10 years ago at this point. Whatever, man. But yeah,
your opinion has not changed in the past 10 years. It's not allowed to.
Yeah. That's it for me. I guess Ninja kind of alluded to it, but I'll let him speak.
Yeah, I did already kind of mention Prime 1. I was going to do a review on Prime 2, but I realized if I do Prime 2, I kind of have to talk about Prime 1 to a certain extent,
Yeah.
so I figured I was like, fine, I'll do Prime 1. and I already had to record the footage of Prime 1 anyway, for the sake of like, the footage in the background, so it's like, fine, whatever. And I like Prime 1, so I don't mind doing it. It's just, it also kind of prepares me for Prime 2 more, just because of like structuring it. Besides that, I guess technically, if we go off of projects, I am trying to speedrun Monkey Ball 2 again, which is pretty fun. I do like speedrunning Monkey Ball games.
We had a session the other night.
Yeah, that's pretty much my fun side thing I do at this point. I think that's all I really have going on at the moment.
Alright, Cardno, what have you been and you never have to say anything, by the way.
Yeah.
You don't have to leak your videos. Whatever you want to talk about.
I'm still working on that Banana Blitz video that I mentioned last time. That's still a project. The rough draft is done, so just need to clean up the script a bit. And then we'll be ready to grind through the editing process. But in the meantime, I won't say exactly what it is, but it is a 3DS game. And it is probably one of the most forgotten 3DS games that Nintendo ever made. So,
oh my god, you're reviewing Rusty's Real Deal Baseball? I can't believe it.
Exactly. And doing a full review and critique is going to be an hour long. And it's going to go over the Japanese regional differences. Exactly. Can't believe you guessed it first try. But, so yeah, it's with me.
Cool. All right, Mojungo. I don't know if you have anything to say, but any personal creative projects or anything you want to talk about.
I'm going to use my Jeff constitutional rights and plead the fifth here.
Yeah, you're all good. It's kind of like it's a type of thing where it's like, we have we'll have guest stars on. That's like, but not everyone's a content creator, so it's like, dude, that's hard to fill this.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's not my avenue.
Yeah, you're good.
So.
But I figured
you
have a lot to talk about anyway, so.
You're gonna get on the next guest, it's gonna be like, my project is my taxes, what do you want?
Honestly, though, I was thinking about that. today, so maybe that is my project. I'll use that as my answer. Thanks, Ninja.
You're welcome.
I should probably do it too. But
This will be the tax podcast. We all just sit down and do our
yeah,
taxes.
that sounds really fun.
You need Lego for that, actually.
Lego. I want to get Lego in the podcast. I would love to get Lego in the podcast, but
Get some plastic bricks in the podcast.
hey, he's an SMS guy. Anyways, I guess that's kind of the wrap up on that segment. So today's main topic, we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct. Maybe we're a month late when this video uploads, but you know what? That means we have more time to think about our thoughts and feelings on it. We have better opinions. We have better.
More time to forget what was even in the direct.
I'm looking at this list and I'm like, I don't know half these games.
What
We can skip some of these games. Like, let's be honest.
I'll like either mention them and we'll probably skip a few of them. But yeah.
Ninja, I want your in-depth thoughts on Tron Identity.
It looked like a game that exists, and it looked kind of mediocre. Honestly, it looked like kind of like a weird visual novel game. Didn't seem that interesting.
We'll talk about
Honestly,
something.
they showed like one like the first gameplay clip they showed was like some puzzle, and I thought, okay, this kind of looks okay, and then the rest of the gameplay clips were just boring visual novel stuff. I'm like, I don't want to read a video game.
Yeah. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, we'll start from the top, and if there's anything like stupid, we'll just skip over it. But I think this first one is not stupid.
It's not worth talking about. We need to skip it.
Yeah, people are gonna watch my podcast and they need to hear my Pikmin opinion. They're like, no, I don't actually want to hear Jeff talk about Pikmin. But,
Pikmin 4,
Pikmin
more
4.
like Pikmin Snore, am I right?
But I don't think anyone really expected it to be like the opening announcement. I didn't even expect it to be like shown.
Kinda
to
bold.
be honest, that was pretty bold. And it was not like a 30-second horrible trailer. It was like 3 minutes, and it showed a lot of gameplay. Gameplay. It was probably the best trailer I think Nintendo's done since maybe like the Breath of the Wild second trailer. I might go so far as to say that. It was a really good trailer. What did you guys think?
I thought it was very up. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I rewatched the Breath of the Wild second trailer, and I thought the Pikmin one was better than the Breath of the Wild second trailer.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Like the Pikmin was insane, just insane. Ninja, you were saying?
Oh, I was gonna say I pretty much showed you like every question you'd have about Pikmin 4 is pretty much answered in this trailer.
Like I'm not sitting here
like who's that captain from the screenshot? Oh, there's 4 captains and they all look very visually distinct and kind of goofy. I like how dumb they kind of look. What's new? Okay, well, here's like this weird like almost open world-esque design. We don't really know the full extent of that yet, but obviously, like, oh, here's Ice Pikmin. That's cool. I didn't think of that. That's a good idea.
That was awesome.
And there's like wall climbing. Like it looks like it's a lot more like, I don't know if it's necessarily exploration based, but it does look very different from the old Pikmin games, which I kind of like, because I feel like Pikmin 3 kind of like retreaded old ground a little bit too much. It's like, okay, whatever, guys. It doesn't really feel like next gen Pikmin, you know. Like this looks next gen as heck.
This is really good, and the biggest curveball they threw us, in my opinion, was the return of caves, which I did not see coming. I thought caves were kind of dead after Pikmin 2. And here's the thing about Pikmin 2. For those of you who've seen my review, and I'm sure Cardinal might share the sentiment, the caves are a good idea, but are not executed well in Pikmin 2 because they are RNG, and the layouts are not always good because of that. So what I'm seeing with this is it's probably going to be more like, streamlined, more designed by hand caves is my guess. I don't think they would do RNG again. We saw Empress Bull Blacks, which that threw me off guard. So that was a huge deal to me. I was very excited when I saw that, because I think it may not have been the best in Pikmin 2, but they might give that another chance to shine with Pikmin 4. I don't know, Cardinal, what did you think of the trailer?
I thought it looked pretty good. I am not like a hardcore Pikmin fan, so I only saw, like the immediately obvious stuff, but like the Ice Pikmin looks really cool. I think the dog will be a very interesting mechanic. I don't know like how that will work, like if you'll need to like tame it first or something, or like, if it'll be limited in any way. It has to be limited somehow.
It does look kind of broken.
Yeah.
I bet it can't follow you into caves. I bet that's the condition.
No, we saw it in a cave because whatever captain was on it while fighting Empress Bull Blacks.
Okay. Interesting. So we'll see. My main improvement for the caves, I don't even necessarily mind the RNG too much. Like, yeah, it could be a bit annoying. My main problem too, though, is like, all like the garbage that came through. You just kind of whittle down your Pikmin count through the caves. Like, you'll just get boulders randomly dropping on you, or like, sometimes enemies will, like, a full-on enemy will just like sometimes drop, or like, like the bomb spiders or whatnot. Like, there's just all sorts of garbage in the caves. That's just not good game design. It's not really fair, like. I don't know. I just didn't like that aspect of the caves mostly. So if they don't have that, if the caves are actually fair, maybe if they keep them all under like 10 levels or less, then that'll be all I really wanted, is improvement to the caves.
Yeah,
but
it's fair.
I have a hard time thinking the dog's gonna be that broken. I agree, it does look pretty broken, but Nintendo's usually pretty solid at not making just easy mode through game mechanics. I think Flood's a very good example. A lot of people just think, oh, you can hover over everything, but you watch anyone play Mario Sunshine, and it's a tough platformer.
Yeah, and
so I think the game will be designed properly around the dog.
Yeah, and they take Flood away on like certain levels too. And I'm sure there's gonna be like sections where it's like, oh, there'll be like a sign that says like dog is banned or something, like there's a joke or something like that, or like the dog has like spikes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, if they're gonna show off the dog, they're not gonna show not using the dog.
So here's the funny thing: I'm actually less concerned about the dog being overpowered. I'm more so concerned about Ice Pikmin being overpowered, actually. Because it's more of a consequence of the idea that I think blue Pikmin are basically going to be useless in this game. Because not only do we have Ice Pikmin, who can freeze water and, go through water probably, we also have Winged Pikmin, which, for those who don't know, that was not in the trailer, but on the box art, there are Winged Pikmin, and it's some promo art rock Pikmin, and there's purple and white Pikmin, so those are all confirmed to come, or at least probably confirmed to come back. But we did also see in the main mode there are like things that the Winged Pikmin can interact with, and that was the big thing in 3, was Winged Pikmin kind of made blues irrelevant besides underwater sections, so I don't know, blue Pikmin, I'm more worried about blue Pikmin just becoming, completely irrelevant at this point, but I guess we'll see.
Did white Pikmin gain any functionality in Pikmin 3?
I don't remember, honestly. I don't think so.
Because that was one of the things I had about white Pikmin in 2, was that like they kind of had the problem where like yellow, they kind of fixed them because they have electric barriers, like they can attack electric enemies, and they have the added jump. So the problem with purple Pikmin is they had the problem with yellow Pikmin in the original, where they're just very situational. Like you'll have like a poison wall they can knock down, and then they'll have like, they can find like a couple buried treasures sometimes, but other than that, like, you really don't need more than like 5 in your party ever.
I don't know how they're gonna even balance this many Pikmin to begin with. It's really weird. I'm assuming some of them will be like challenge mode exclusive, or maybe.
I personally think the Ice Pikmin will be kind of like the purple Pikmin. We can only get them in like caves or something. So, like, you get like a very select amount of them. This will kind of help.
Yeah, because we only, from the trailer, we only know that the onion's gonna house red, blue, and yellow, and
yeah,
I think Nintendo is. I think they'd be ballsy enough to maybe make those the only ones you could like harvest, honestly, and just have the others maybe be caves, like you get them from caves. I don't know, or maybe some of them will be, you could literally only use them in caves, because that's the thing that Bulbmin, that was the thing in them. Like, so maybe purples and whites they'll be in caves, and for some reason that they'll make up to the story, they can't leave the caves. I don't know how they listen.
I wonder if the Ice Pikmin will be like. It'll be very interesting if like the Ice Pikmin can only be made from blue Pikmin, or can only be made from rock. Like, what if there's you can only make certain Pikmin from a certain color?
I didn't even think about that. That's
like
possible.
an upgraded type.
I'm
Back
curious
to-
about the nighttime mode.
Yeah, that was like
That was fun.
teased. That was teased at the very end. There was like, everyone thought the trailer was over, and we thought the trailer could not get better. We see like a Bulborb, walking out, and he just has the red eyes.
Some alpha Pokemon eyes going on.
Yeah, that is Alpha Pokemon. I don't know. That's one of the things people have been talking about with Pikmin since day one. Like, oh, I want a mode where you can stay out at night. I remember even back when I was like a kid, that was something I wanted personally. So I'm very curious. I hope it's not like DLC or something. I hope it's just.
I bet it's like a challenge mode or
It
something.
could be. Yeah. Could be. Good trailer. I mean, like a lot of talked about, and then even at the end there was something more to talk about. So I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say on it. We saw Louie in it. I think we saw Louie in it. I don't know. Did you guys see that?
There was like a captain that was unrevealed. It had like a blue light, so it's possible.
A lot of people on the internet like theorize it's Louie. I've seen people like trace out, the very light amount of skin you can see. And stuff. I'm pretty sure it's Louie. I mean, who else would that be? Like, why else would they show it in the trailer if it was just some random guy? I don't know. That's at least my opinion. Because
Yeah, it'd be hard to get people excited about a blank silhouette of someone they've never seen before. Like, if you tease a silhouette, it's like, who's that Pokemon? And it's like, well, we've never seen this Pokemon before, so how do we know?
Right.
How do we know to get excited?
Yeah.
Except I'm pretty sure they actually did do that at one point with Pokemon.
Did they?
They did it with I want to say they did it with like some Pokemon they introduced in Gen 7, like late Gen 7 or something. It's like some like rare like metal Pokemon.
Oh, Melmetal?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that Pokemon's been a mess. It was like Pokemon Go exclusive, but
Pokemon Go exclusive. Oh no.
it
Oh yeah,
it was for a little bit. I think it still pretty much is.
Gotcha.
Anyway, no, we not to get too off topic,
you're
but
good.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think the thing is I think Miyamoto does not like giving up Olimar and Louie because it was like advertised like Pikmin 3 was gonna be this whole new we had this whole new group of captains, and then like halfway through the story we're like hanging out with Louie, and then Louie and Olimar are like a huge part of the plot in that game, huge part. So I'm pretty sure we'll see them again.
I do want Olimar to come back just because he was like I don't care about Louis. He can never return for all I care.
I want to see the president.
Yeah, I was like the
President's sick.
I love the president.
But I like Olimar just because like he has so much character, especially built in the first game.
Right.
So, like I kind of care about him as a character. I want him to return. I
Right.
want to see him come back.
I agree. I think we will. I'm gonna make this probably not hot take right now, but I'm gonna make this prediction. Olimar and Louie will be in Pikmin 4 in a big way. I'm gonna predict it right now. I just see it, especially with that Louie teaser.
So they're going to be more normal-sized people then? Is that what you mean by big way?
Yeah. There's gonna be a
Not
giant,
these tiny little
There's
things?
gonna be a giant shoe like where the bench is that just steps on you and kills everyone. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Pikmin 4. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to say?
It's good.
It was good.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but
I like how we got a release date so soon. That was
That
cool.
is basic.
I did not expect July. I was expecting okay, let me take that back. I was expecting sometime in summer, but I was not expecting to see the release date that soon. I was expecting maybe the E3 direct or maybe just some Twitter post. I was not expecting to learn about it this early.
Yeah. Pikmin 4 is almost complete. Let's go. He was.
Yeah.
Just seeing how little they teased last time, like I'm surprised. I thought it was like a year out or something.
I thought the game was like barely even started when I saw that. I was like, all right.
Stuff like that is why you watch the directs, though, because you never know what you're going to get. You never know what's going to even get released the same day sometimes.
Yeah.
But Mojungo, the direct format is outdated and they need to make it an interactive whatever. That one guy said.
The only interaction I need from the Nintendo Directs is reading Twitch chat because they drop some banger one-liners that everyone spams.
They should the interactive direct I would one is like they should have the guy come like how was that, and then they have a live poll up for thumbs up or thumbs down in real time.
That'd be too embarrassing. They'd do it like right after like some
How was that? Negative 40%.
That'd be too embarrassing for them.
Yeah, the Splatoon devs would not be in good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It was really fun. Well, I guess we'll get to that.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
First, we have to talk about Xenoblade 3, my favorite game of all time.
I'm
It's
excited for it. I'm excited for it.
It's an okay announcement. It's not bad content. It's there for Xenoblade fans.
We're not gonna
and
linger
us
too
is-
long on that. Don't worry, we're not gonna linger too long.
It's a part where every fan base just kind of like takes a little nap, checks their phone, checks Twitter. real
Yeah,
quick.
that was like I remember watching Arlo's like reaction. He was like, "Oh, Pikmin 4." He was like still freaking out over Pikmin 4. Which, to be fair, I think a lot of us were. Like, I was barely paying attention to Xenoblade 3, so everyone kind of used that as like, "All right, I'm gonna relax now." I'm personally excited. I played Wave 3. It was fine. It wasn't anything special, but it was fine.
It's basically like the Yoshi trailer after Metroid Prime 4. It's like it's there.
So,
You know?
We'll move on to Samba de Amigo Party Central. Now, this was actually leaked maybe like 3 hours before. I avoided the leak.
Yeah, we avoided them.
I sent out notices in my Discords. I was like, "Hey, no one leak it." And then it was like this, and I was like, "Oh, I wouldn't have cared."
Oh wait, Samba was the leak.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Samba de Amigo fans, both of you, but like, it just looks like a less interesting version of Just Dance. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know. It's like seeing Sega release old franchises, even if it is like Samba de Amigo, which is like fine. It's okay.
Just videos instantly updated.
I mean, I'm glad my video's out there. I want it to be out there.
That's fair,
I wanted
that's
there to be more Sega games. That was kind of my goal. I don't know. Maybe they'll do more, and I can make a part 2.
I guess I'm happy. I've never played the series.
I haven't either.
I'll try
it to be a
I'll
fine game
buy
for
it.
those who enjoy a genre like this, though.
Yeah.
I will try it, and I'll tell you when it is a game worth buying. My bet is that it is fine. That's my bet.
If I
That's
see
very
it,
okay.
if I see it on sale for like $5, which inevitably it will be, then I'll buy it. How about that?
To be fair, this game's probably meant for like very young children. It's pretty much
Yeah.
like the parent needs to buy their kid a new Sega game. Like, okay.
No, that's Fashion Central.
All right, yeah, well, it's not sad, but let's
Fashion-
talk about the game. I think we were all popping off over. Everyone was screaming.
Can we skip this
All
one?
our
I wouldn't talk too much about it.
I don't know what to say about it. I have nothing to say.
I literally have nothing to say. Can we just skip
The
this
most
one?
deep game I've ever seen. Gonna put 1,000 hours into it. It'll be a great follow up to when I finally finish whatever Wonder Girls game or whatever.
Here's a question though. I don't know if anyone knows. Is there even a game, or is it just like putting like clothes on like a mannequin? Because I
There's
I didn't
I don't
see
see any gameplay.
I saw no gameplay. There was literally no gameplay. I don't remember any. I just remember it was
There's
like
no gameplay.
Somebody probably just got inspired from their days of playing Flash games and said, "I can be a game developer,"
yeah.
and made this game.
It comes across that
It's
way.
menus, the game.
I don't know. Maybe there's more to the game that we don't know. We're not the target demographic for it. I think
Yeah,
probably-
we're not.
No, we're not.
So, we don't like it. That's because of that. All right.
We're sweaty gamers in a dark room. We are not going to be doing Fashion Central.
We do have a few more announce things that will go down the list that we'll have nothing to say about probably, but
Yeah.
Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. I don't care.
The only thing I know about Dead Cells is that IGN guy plagiarized the review. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that
You
him?
plagiarized just video, dude. Can't
That's
believe-
literally all I know about Dead Cells. But I am glad for Castlevania fans because they're Konami fans, and Konami fans have it hard.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I don't care about it, but I can still respect it. I do think it's a good announcement for the people that care about it. Like,
Yeah, I could see it being exciting for people, and
yeah,
I mean, the gameplay looked really fun.
Yeah.
it looks fun. I mean, like Dead Cells basically is a game in that genre, if I remember correctly. So having a Castlevania themed DLC must be pretty hype, to be honest.
All right. Well, Tron Identity. We kind of already talked about this. I've
Uh,
never.
This was some of the first
It-
game we talked about.
it's the best visual novel that is in the direct.
I'll be honest, I'm looking through half of these names, and I'm just like, I don't even remember the trailers.
This was in the direct. This was
Like,
Disney
Ghost-
paying for advertising space. And that's all it was. Let's be honest.
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. I don't remember the difference between that and Deca Police because they seem kind of similar.
the fan detective just looks like they poured a DS game to the Switch.
that
Like
was
it's
the one
literally
that-
in 4x3.
Yeah.
It's like it's 4x3. Like, I saw a lot of people though who were like super popping off and happy on the internet. So like, I'm sure
Ghost
someone's-
Trick is definitely one of those games that I remember reading like Nintendo Power back in the day, and everyone who wrote for the magazine loving the game. So it has some good fans in there, and I'm not surprised people were excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with a direct. You're not gonna like every single announcement. Like you could be like the biggest gamer in the world, and we still don't know. Like we don't know, Fashion Central. We just don't know. And speaking of that, Deca Police. Now, I will say, to this game's credit, it actually looked pretty good. I might actually buy it, to be honest.
It does actually look good, to be fair.
It's like a mix between, like, GTA and, like, Persona, almost, from what I saw.
It does kind of look that way, yeah.
It's, like, it's interesting. I might purchase it. I don't think it's not going to be, like, a day one purchase for me, I'm not going to, like, camp overnight to buy it, but I'll consider it. Maybe I'll wait for, like, a sale.
The only thing that caught my eye was it's made by Level 5, who's the same studio as Professor Layton.
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Level 5 makes
I don't know.
sense, so.
I don't know. It's based on the famous Deca Sports franchise, as we all know. So that's pretty hype. I don't know. This is definitely a wait for reviews kind of game.
Yeah.
Just wait and see if it's like a giant mess or not. If it's like a solid game,
You're actually supposed to scream the title because it's in all caps. So it's supposed to be Deca Police.
You're just yelling.
Just yelled.
Peek the mic.
Yeah, I probably did peek the mic. By the way, I should say I'll write this in the description this time. I record my audio in a college dorm, so I'm sorry my podcast audio is so trash. It'll only be like that for a few more months though. So
you got those cinder block walls like you're in a prison.
It's really
classic.
I mean, honestly, like the little open world gameplay we saw looks kind of good for Switch.
Yeah,
looks fairly detailed.
I'm moderately excited. I'm not like
more interested for it than Bayonetta Origins is all I'll say.
Oh no!
So this was announced at the Game Awards, which I have a lot of problems with the Game Awards itself, but we won't get into that today. This was announced at the Game Awards, where Nintendo is known for announcing basically nothing. But Nintendo this year announced Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon, which, like, I don't want to piss off Bayonetta fans. I'm sure there are Bayonetta fans.
I don't think you will, because I don't think Bayonetta fans... Are Bayonetta fans actually interested in this? Because I haven't seen anyone who actually is excited for this. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but, like, it just is, like, a completely different demographic, like
it's
we all know
weird.
We all say there's a very specific reason Bayonetta has a fan base is all I'll say. And then when you change that and just make it about like some little girl or whatever in like this cute game, it's like, okay, well, I hope you realize you're kind of sabotaging your entire game,
It's definitely odd because it's like the game is like a completely different gameplay style and art style, and like we said when we reacted to the direct, it feels like the kind of game that would have like switched like series during development to make it stand out more as an IP. Like it feels weird tying it to Bayonetta. It just doesn't really make sense. It doesn't appeal to Bayonetta like at all. It's not even close to the same demographic. Like even then, like I don't think Bayonetta has that much of like a marketable, IP. Like Bayonetta sells like
2 million
Xenoblade
units.
numbers,
That's
which is not
really
bad.
good.
Like that's not bad numbers, but it's not good enough to make like this weird spin-off game. That's clearly not gonna. That's probably not gonna do well. It's just weird.
I'll be shocked if this goes past like 1 million. I'd be really surprised.
I expect it to be one of those games that just kind of comes out, a couple people play it, says it's good, and just fades away for the rest of the time. To be honest,
I'm gonna say it's gonna surprise us and hit like 1.5 to 2 million.
Really?
Just because, is it? It must. I think it's a budget title. Well, let me look this up. But it's also because the Switch has such a large user base that it's much easier for a game to hit that number now.
Yeah, and I'm sure Nintendo is gonna put like over the advertising budget into this game once it comes out. They're gonna be ads on YouTube every like 5 seconds because they keep advertising that one indie game like repeatedly at this point. Is that
they
in
keep
here? By the way,
advertising Kirby for me.
They have that one game in this direct, the one that they keep advertising.
Which one?
I don't know.
Like
You might
2D
get different
art
ads than me.
Oh, they do. Yeah,
also,
they do.
no,
It's
that's
later.
never mind. Bayonetta Origins is $60. Never
Ooh,
mind.
that's rough. That is a rough then. Yeah, I think it might fail then. Like genuinely, might actually be a commercial failure
I
at that
take
point.
back what I said.
I think it's gonna sell less than 1 million. That's
Pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have like maybe it's good. Maybe it'll be a secret like underrated masterpiece, but I just don't see it being
If
marketable.
it is good, they're killing it by putting it to the Bayonetta name. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I agree with Ninja and what you're saying, Jeff. They really should have did something else with the IP.
Yeah, well, even if it was still Bayonetta, it should have been like a different character or something. Like I don't know, it doesn't feel right.
I don't know. I'm not.
Well, as far as I know, I think the only reason, I guess like they can't make any successor Bayonetta games because 3 kind of ended the story.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Yeah, I've never played a Bayonetta game either, so it's like buying a prequel to it is in a different art style is like completely not in my interest. So
that's true. I am coming at this from a completely outsider. I have never played a Bayonetta game, and I probably never will. So you know,
I'll play it at some point. I'm kind of waiting for like a trilogy release because I think they would do that eventually. Because they re-release 1 and 2 like all the time. So I'll kind of hold off on that. But all right. So next up, we have Splatoon 3 DLC. In my opinion, this was probably the lowest Nintendo announcement of the Direct, in my opinion.
It's very divisive.
The thing is it divisive at all? Because like the problem is like you see Splatoon fans, and I kind of keep a pulse on the Splatoon 3 community, or the Splatoon community in general. And, like, I saw a lot of posts that were just like, man, I was so excited during the Direct, and then, like, the Direct high kind of wore off, and then I was like, wait a second, this is a bad deal. You know? It's such a... You're getting an alternate menu for $25.
Like,
let's go.
I mean, okay, so there's 2 waves. Wave 1 looks like an asset flip. Like, it looks like they forgot to have something for Wave 1, and they were like, alright guys, port whatever we had in Splatoon 1, just literally take the same assets. And for a second, in my opinion, I was almost like, wow, this is cool. But I think it needs something more. Because if you could, like, do matches from the lobby, right, and there were, like, redone stages from Splatoon 1, in my opinion, that saves it, at least somewhat.
Like, even if they brought back like Battle Dojo or something, like did literally anything.
It's just
like what if they had like a new ranked mode or something?
Yeah, like a balloon mode or something. Like that could work.
Or I saw someone say, "Is Splatoon doing like COD Zombies or something?" Because the Wave 2 thing looked really weird and ominous with the art style.
Wave 2 looks cool. I mean, the thing is though, it's gonna suck because it's not gonna suck. The pricing model is gonna suck because. It's like I'm not going to spend $25 for Wave 1, but it's like now I have to spend $25 to get, it should be the value of 2 waves. And it's like Wave 1 is just trash. It'll be interesting because Splatoon 2 had DLC for $20. And in my opinion, it was more than worth it. It was like, it might be one of the best DLCs I've ever played. That's plausible. So if Wave 3 is as good as Splatoon 2's DLC was, then I could kind of see it as like, you're paying for Wave 2, and then you kind of get Wave 1 thrown in as a freebie, I guess. But it will really hinge on how good Wave 2 is. I think my problem is, I haven't played Splatoon 3 that much, so I can't complain too much, but I feel like they really haven't been doing enough with the game as is, because it's like Splatoon 1 and 2, after they released, right, there were like constant, like weekly updates. Maybe not weekly, but it felt like that. Every couple months there was at least a new... And there were new weapons... sometimes new stages, and I feel like Splatoon 3, since it came out, really hasn't added anything. I'm probably wrong on that, to be fair. From what I understand, they've added weapons, I think. Okay. But I don't know, like, they're doing, like, a weird season system. Okay. So, like, this one was, like, the chill season, next one is, like, the fresh season. And I need to look into... I don't have Splatoon 3, so I don't know too much about it, but, like, I want to say they're doing like more with it. It's just I don't know. It still has a problem for me where it's like it's so similar to Splatoon 2. Yeah. And I got so much enjoyment out of Splatoon 2. I don't know if I'll get the same value out of Splatoon 3 because like there's no new ranked modes. Mm-hmm. Salmon Run is basically just like slightly enhanced. It's just. Yeah. I don't know. Splatoon 3 is a weird case because I expected to get really hyped for it. I expected to buy it day 1, and then the day came, and I was just like, oh, yeah, it's out, I guess, Yeah, I played Splatoon 3 maybe like 5 to 10 hours over winter break, some with Ninja. and I think it's good. It's just like, why is this a new game? Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I'm also not the biggest Splatoon 2 fan, or Splatoon fan, I should just say. I like Splatoon games, but I'm not, like, grinding them. I don't play them all the time. So, maybe there's just small things that I'm missing, but I really did not feel like there was any reason for Splatoon 3 to exist beyond, like, it's a new game. Yay.
It still just feels like Splatoon 2 again, but, like, enhanced, which is, like, it's fine, but it should have just been, like, the Wave 1 update to Splatoon 2, Like,
Or they could have done something like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
Where they just, instead of making a new Mario Kart game for this, they just have the expansion pass tracks and stuff coming out.
Yeah, like, I just don't... It's like the same engine, it's the same gameplay. I know there are some different, like, small differences, but, like, come on, I don't know. I think that's why I'm, like, especially not excited for Splatoon 3 DLC, as is, because it's like, I already feel like the game was kind of thrown together, and it hasn't been updated that well, in my opinion, and now the DLC is just kind of meh. So it's like, I don't know, at this point it's almost looking like Splatoon 2 could potentially be the better game, honestly. But we'll see.
They also advertise the updates a lot more because, like, I remember Splatoon update 3.0 was like and 4.0. They had like cool like trailers in the direct. So like 4 was like an anime intro parody or whatever.
I kind of remember that, yeah.
And then like update 3.0 was like they're introducing all the like 300 pieces of gear or something. It was, it was insane. So, like, they don't really update that at all. Like, they had... The first update we got wasn't even an update, they announced the Splatfest. And that was it. And then this direct, they announced DLC. And that was it. So they've done nothing to publicly show what the updates are, So... I just don't think it has the same energy as Splatoon 2, That's my biggest problem with it.
I'm enjoying the game of what I played with it, but I just don't really see... I'm not really seeing the hook, I guess. But I guess we can move on from one DLC announcement to another Fire Emblem Engage expansion pass. I know nothing about Fire Emblem. I'm not going to buy it. That's all I can say. I don't know. Do you guys have anything to say?
Yeah. You know what's funny? It's not even the next announcement.
In my list I wrote down it is.
There's Disney Illusion Island, Jeff.
My list, I guess, maybe I wrote
that was the one that was like the strangely good art style is all I remember.
Yeah.
The Disney Illusion Island is just like Rayman, but Mickey is.
I'm going off the... I guess I posted... Maybe I've typed it wrong in the group chat, but I don't know. We'll get to it, but I guess we'll talk about Fire Emblem just because I brought it up real quick. But do you guys have anything to say about it? I don't have anything to say.
No.
I mean, I bet if you're a Fire Emblem fan, this probably looks fun. I mean, Ninja, I'm surprised you're not a fan of it because you're a big fan of N-Gages.
Yeah.
He's the N-Gage gamer.
The game does not display in portrait mode. It's not authentic enough for my taste.
Yeah, so, I have nothing to say.
You just turn your screen on its side and then...
Yep, there we go.
Alright, Harmony, the fall of Reverie?
What was this game again?
I don't
remember this game.
I don't remember. Let me look up the trailer.
Oh, it's a random visual novel game.
Great.
That's literally
never
it.
mind.
I'm not gonna buy it. So I don't play visual novels, I'm gonna be honest. I played DDLC for like a review back in like 2018, and I don't know, it was kind of boring, honestly. So that's the closest I've got.
Okay, we'll say the order of your list is very much out of order.
Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney is a good visual
I do
novel.
need to play Ace Attorney. I do need to play that. I would be open to playing that.
You should play Professor Layton instead.
I'll play both eventually. How about that?
I've never played Professor Layton, admittedly, so... But...
Oh, well, I'll talk about Professor Layton when we get there. Don't you worry.
All right. Educate me when the time comes.
Apparently my list is out of order, by the way. You know what? I copied it from NintendoLife.com, so I'm going to call them out, and they might have screwed it up. Or maybe, like, I know they're UK-based, so maybe, like, the PAL... I know, like, the directs can be regional, so maybe they're...
I'm good to follow your list, Jeff.
Yeah, just follow your
that's
list.
easiest.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone will mind.
Yeah, I'm guessing it might be, like, a regional direct difference, because I know, like, there was some regional directs last time, so maybe it's on them. But Anyway, Disney Illusion Island. It looked good. I might buy it if it's like a sale, and by sale I mean like dirt cheap.
$5 and below.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? I guess
I agree.
If you're like dying for a new Rayman game, it's probably cool, to be honest, because it is literally just Rayman but Mickey. But like, I'm not really that much of a Rayman guy. It looks fine. It looks perfectly okay. I imagine it's gonna be a pretty good like family game.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Rayman guy either, but I do like Mickey and I do like Goofy.
I do. Like
So
Goofy.
seeing those guys in there, that might get me into trying that genre out.
I don't know. I mean, it's good. It's just not my thing. I really don't have much to complain about. It just seems like it's a good game. I don't care about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably in the same boat as Jeff, though. Gonna wait for a sale, most likely, if I do buy it. But
Yeah.
there's just so many games out there now. It's hard to be like, wow, that game looks good. I'm definitely gonna buy it when.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
especially this year. I mean, there's a lot coming out this year. That's good in my
Yeah.
opinion. So maybe, speaking of games coming out this year, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. This was announced
I
last
still love that
year.
name.
It's a good name, definitely. It was announced last year. It was set to release, and then obviously the war over in Ukraine happened. And I believe there's like a boss in that game that's based on Russia. So I think that was where the
I think they're the bad guys.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Something was portrayed in a weird way, and then they tended to delete it. Unfortunately, the war's not over, but I do think it's time to probably just release this. So I guess it's coming out.
they chose a pretty bad time to release it too, because it's basically, Russia's re-upped their effort, which is sad, but also like, why don't you just release it in the winter when there's less fighting going on? Not when
I don't
it's
think
starting to
anyone will
warm up a little
honestly
bit.
care anymore. I don't think like the only people who get upset about like the Advanced Wars releasing at this point is just like
I don't know who's getting
permanently online Twitter users.
I'll be honest. I'll be
Uh,
honest. I think they could have released it at the original slot, and there probably wouldn't have been that many people like mad about it.
There would be like a Kotaku article about it or something. That's about it.
Like I fully support Ukraine. I fully support Ukraine and stuff. I just don't know if Advanced Wars would have been offensive towards. Yeah, I don't know if anyone would have seen that and really been like, "Wow, Nintendo is like a horrible, they're horrible people." I
don't know. I mean, my take on the situation is like I'm gonna ignore all of that. I feel like them announcing this again and then going like, "Hey, it's gonna come out in like a few months." I'm like, why not just drop it today? Like, what is stopping you?
Because you have to restart your marketing cycle.
That's
Some that would be true if certain games in the direct didn't drop the day of and get marketing press. I'm just saying the game's already been delayed like a full year. It feels weird to make the wait even longer.
Because Advanced Wars hasn't had a game in like 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, but like, is anyone
it needs every bit of publicity it can get.
Is anyone gonna like republicize Advanced Wars now? Like, I don't really know. I mean, Advanced Wars isn't like a big series. It feels weird to try to do like a second marketing push for it. Unless they're gonna like super advertise it from this point on, I just don't see it being a thing. It's not like they're gonna do another direct before it comes out. It's just gonna kind of come and go, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Especially considering that, like, Breath of the Wild 2 is literally the month after.
They also probably didn't want it to release in the same month as a game that'll be talked about later, and Kirby.
I don't know.
They probably want to give it as much breathing room as possible.
To me, it just comes across as odd to delay this game for like a billion years and go like, yeah, you still have to wait.
I don't
like,
mind it because honestly, I'm not going to buy it anyway at $60.
I know, but like, I don't know, it just
But,
feels very odd to me. I don't know.
It's another one of those games where
Probably consider buying it when it's not at 60, but
I won't buy it. Let's be honest.
it's tough to buy games at 60 nowadays.
Especially
I'm sorry,
Advanced
but,
Wars.
like,
Because
it's a
Advanced
remake
Wars
of a
is worth $60.
It's a remake of an obscure GBA game. Like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you can't. Like, I don't think many people will be paying full price for that.
Yeah, it's like if they remade Wario Land 4 or something. It's made that for $60. It's like, not that good.
I'll buy it on a. I don't think it'll be on a sale because it's Nintendo. But I could
I
see
don't
it
know,
being
it-
like
it-
40 eventually, like during like one of their holiday sales. So I'll
It
go
really
for
should have
it.
been 40. It really just should have
I
been 40
agree.
full out. Like,
I think-
I don't,
Mhm.
I don't know. The game needs like 20 hours of content to be 60, and I guarantee you it's only like 10.
I have
I remember when this game was in. Sorry, I remember when this game was announced. I was watching with someone, and they literally thought it was a mobile game,
Yeah.
not
Like,
to Switch.
Advance Wars is not like I don't get why they're bringing back this series that like hasn't had a game in like a billion years. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, here's $60 for a Game Boy Advance game. It's like, is anyone gonna buy it now?
in
I don't
my
think- Like,
It's 2 Game Boy Advance games.
yeah.
who cares? Doesn't mean anything.
Listen, I have I have an opinion that I don't know if everyone's gonna agree with this, but if it's a Game Boy or a Game Boy Advance game and it's a port of that, I personally feel like unless it's like Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver type of thing, where it's like really everything they beefed up like everything and everything's good. In my opinion, it should just be 40. I really did not like when Link's Awakening released for 60. I thought that was a really kind of scummy move personally. Because the graphics looked amazing, don't get me wrong. But it's like it's 10 hours of content, man. It's like it's a Game Boy game. It's not like Breath of the Wild which is also for 60, where it's an open world. This is a grid-based game. I don't know. It should have been like 40. So it's like
I still feel like
Zelda
40 is
Maker.
rich for my blood as well.
Yeah, like 40 is like
It
still a lot of money.
is.
I don't know. I just feel like charging $60 for Advance Wars is not gonna do the series any like. If they're trying to like bring back Advance Wars, it's not gonna work. Like it's just literally not because it's
No.
$60. Like $60
And then
brings
they'll
$60
blame it.
expectations.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm
they'll
sorry.
blame the franchise like, oh, I guess people just don't like
Yeah,
Advance
it's-
Wars
I got-
anymore.
Like I'm sorry, Advance Wars does not scream $60. I don't care how good the game looks. It's just never like it's Advance
Yeah.
Wars. It's like it's like baby's first Fire Emblem. Like it's not $60. Should have been like 30.
Like, at least for me, $40 for what could just be Virtual Console
Yeah,
is just-
that's true also.
is tough for me to swallow. And there's another game that I have a similar opinion about on here when it comes to that. But
Octopath Traveler 2, obviously.
yeah.
yeah.
My favorite Times New Roman game.
I have a feeling we're gonna get into speaking of Octopath Traveler. I think
Yeah,
we can
right
move on.
now.
Yeah, might as well.
Unless you guys have any other thoughts, but
No, I can
I
share
said
my
it.
thoughts about the VC when we get to the other game.
okay.
Yeah.
So we're probably gonna have another string of announcements that we say nothing on. Octopath Traveler 2. I have nothing. This game was like announced like 3 times, right? Like it feels like
It is the Square Enix announcement of all time. That's all I can say.
I haven't played the first game. I'll play it at some point. I'm not dying to play it. How about that?
It's why. Sorry.
I almost don't even want to play the first game because I just read it's so much reading, and I hate reading in video games.
That's fair.
That's fair.
It looks
I played the demo of the first game. I thought it was fun. I just didn't have much interest. Passed out there.
It's what I call a Times New Roman game, where like they all kind of look the same to me. As someone who's admittedly not like big into RPGs, they all kind of look the same. Yeah, Bravely Default 2, Octopath Traveler 2, Various Day Life,
It's a great game.
Triangle strategy.
Like they just all look the same to me, So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very picky when it comes to RPGs. There's like 3 I actually like what I've played. So
and they look like your very like standard RPGs too. Like
yeah.
they don't look like they have like, I don't know. It just seems like if you think of like a SNES RPG or whatever, then like this is what you think about.
It's definitely made for like classic Final Fantasy nerds that just want every game to be like a Super Nintendo RPG. But it's like it's been 30 years, guys. You can advance the genre at least a little bit. I don't know. It's a good game. I just don't care. I like playing games that
Nowadays we have
feel like they were made in the year they came out.
Nowadays we have good RPGs like Origami King.
Yeah, it's a great game.
All right.
Xenoblade for your bust, I guess. Honestly, at this point.
I also should. But
So-
all right. Speaking of, I don't know, not speaking of anything. But next announcement was We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Revere.
Pretty
Reverie.
Reverie.
How many times has this game been released?
A million.
I don't know. I would have done that.
times.
From what I understand, well, they released Katamari Damacy Reroll.
That was pretty
and that,
based.
I actually just downloaded it today.
Oh, these are
because
separate
it's part of
games.
the
I'm just
game
now
file.
realizing.
Yeah.
But it was a sequel, I guess, and apparently a lot of people prefer this one to the original Katamari Damacy. So
I don't know. It's cool.
Really?
I'll probably buy
if
it.
you
I'll probably buy
played
this.
this game, then
I-
good for you. I'm happy for
The only
you.
reason I'll buy it or like try it at some point is because I like Namco stuff. Obviously, it's somewhat of an element of my channel, although it's mostly Pac-Man. That might hint that there are other Namco stuff coming to the channel. Just saying that out. There might be other. But anyway, so basically, I want to kind of be in the realm of Namco stuff, and maybe I'll look more into the series at some point. I think even in Pac-Man World Rally, there was a Katamari Damacy level, and
Yeah.
everyone got mad at me because I mispronounced it, which is fair enough. I pronounced it Katamari Damacy or something. I don't know. Listen, I never played the game, so maybe I'll try it. I think it's like $4 right now, even. And then if you don't want to
It's
buy,
yeah, it's like 85% off right now for
Yeah.
the game trial. It's cool.
I
I'm just waiting for the one review, that one video review that someone will call "We Love Katamari Reroll." Yeah, that'll definitely be a YouTube title.
I don't know. I'll buy it. I like Katamari. It's based
the
epic.
next two games, I don't know anything.
I
about.
literally don't remember.
Sea of Stars and
What
Omega
is this?
Strike. Do you
Oh, okay. It's an Octopath 2 effect on Sea of Stars. That's what I'm gonna say with that.
Yeah, but
It's
this one
the-
looks more like just an RPG Maker game or something.
It's an RPG, and then Omega Strikers is literally a Pong. It's Pong.
Oh my god! It was
Oh, yeah!
It's literally Pong. So, I mean, it's probably fine, but like,
Omega Strikers,
it needs to literally be like $5. Otherwise, it's
Well, I think Omega
Just-
Strikers is free to play.
okay. I mean,
I'm not gonna
so
play
it's gonna
it.
be one of those games.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. man.
I've seen like some streamers who enjoy it every now and then, so you know, it's something for some people. It's
Yep,
hard to hate on a free to play game, you know.
Yeah, I'm not personally gonna play it, but if it's free, I'm really not gonna have any
It's
problem.
probably fine. That being said, Pong was made in
Just bring over Pong
1961,
the next
so
level.
you know.
Bring over Pong the next level. over
They're
to
just
Switch.
trying to advance the genre. I mean, you just criticized all these Nintendo RPGs. At least, you know, give the developers some credit for elevating Pong to the next generation.
If anyone,
as someone who has played Pong Quest, that is better than whatever that is. Okay,
if
Pong Quest is actually fun.
If someone
Theoretically.
wants to go viral on YouTube, I'm just gonna throw this idea out there. Anyone who wants it can take it. I'm not gonna make this. If you made like a video on like Pong and like every single Pong game and Pong console and like the history.
What is the best Pong game?
No, like just like a Pong retrospective, like to this day. Like,
I should do a Pong series retrospective. I go over the mainline Pong games.
You go over,
Fun.
like,
You
sure.
have projects you need to get out first.
Fine.
I'd be surprised if someone hasn't done that already, because I've seen similar videos like that with
Uh-huh.
Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. and
Let
stuff.
me look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now. Pong retrospective. Like I want to see like a 5-hour retrospective. On Pong.
5 hours.
See, there's
of
an
what?
It's gonna be like
There's-
some 10-minute
Yeah,
one.
there's an 8-minute retrospective, which is like fine. There's nothing wrong with 8 minutes. This video
It's
only has
fine, but I
22
could do
views. I'm
better.
kind of surprised YouTube recommended me it, but I'm not complaining. But like, it's fine if your video is like 8 minutes. I don't want to call someone out, but like, there was this video where it was like I reviewed every Looney Tunes game, like 500 games or something, and like the video was not a length where I was like, did you really talk about each one of those games? You know, I didn't watch it, so maybe it's unfair.
I'm looking up how many Pong games are there.
At least
For mainline Pong, there's not even that many. There's like 7 or something.
mainline. What is mainline Pong?
Well, like it's using like the Pong branding, like the actual
Yeah.
official like Pong. Like it goes to like there's a couple Pong games, and there's like the PS1 game, then there's like Pong Quest in 2020.
You gotta go in order so you don't lose story elements.
Pong Quest actually has like Pong Quest is weird because it's like a roguelike Pong game. It's actually kind of fun.
I watched
It's
Ninja
literally-
play it. It was actually kind of
It's it's literally like Binding of Isaac but Pong. It was actually kind of fun.
I watched
That
it.
actually does sound fun.
Yeah.
It's not like high art, but it was actually alright. I actually did not regret buying it. To be honest,
Like,
it
I
was
was
kind of
watching
fun.
you play it, and I was actually kind of impressed by it. Like, it wasn't like impressed, but it was.
It's very basic, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was quite fun. I might play it again one day. Kind of fun.
All right, well, we got off topic.
I don't know. Pong is too interesting of a subject.
we should make a
See
Pong
next
podcast.
you. See now. See what you did to me, Jeff. Now I'm on Wikipedia looking up how many sequels of Pong there are.
Well,
This
Okay,
is
what's-
stuff you got me into.
What's next on this list again?
Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection. Don't know.
This is just a DS game, right?
It looks like a PSP game was ported directly to the Nintendo Switch. And
No, it looked like a DS game because you have to draw on a map.
Oh, it might be a DS game.
Well,
I don't know.
PSP had touchscreen, to be fair.
It might. No, it didn't. That's the
No,
Vita.
that's lame. Okay, maybe yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's probably fine. I've played games in this kind of.
It did not look fine because I don't want to draw on a map using a controller. You know,
that's true. Also, I don't know. It's very obviously just we took these old handheld games and put them on Nintendo Switch. Buy it, please. That's pretty much what it is.
I have
don't
a
know.
feeling Mo is going to have a few words for the next game. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe.
Wait, why do you think I would have words about Kirby?
Oh, was this the one that you said you had choice words? I thought you were saying you had choice words.
No, I was talking about Metroid, actually.
Okay. I thought you were talking about
No, nobody has words for this game.
This
Literally
game
nobody.
it exists. It is very much a Wii game, slightly fixed up for $60.
I like the Wii game, but it's like, did this really need to be ported? And I don't think so. I really don't.
I just think Kirby games just come out too often for
Yeah.
how unenthusiastic I get for them. Because they're just mediocre platformers for me at the end of the day.
Yeah, like what
Basically.
Forgotten Land's the only one that's ever impressed me.
I like Forgotten Land a lot. I liked Return to Dreamland. I liked Epic Yarn, but it's like, I don't know.
I was gonna say Epic Yarn's pretty good.
I don't know if we need to port those at this point.
I'd really much rather they spend their energy and like do like if they did like Air Ride 2 or something, which I know they'll never do, but if they actually did that,
but I want them
if,
to.
if they actually did it, it would be cool. But they don't do that. They don't have ambition that much. Like Forgotten Land's the only time they've ever really had like genuine ambition, which is why that game's good. That's why I very much enjoyed that game a lot that year.
Well, the problem is, I recall. Now you got me thinking about Kirby Air Ride. They'll make spin-offs all the time. I remember, I forget who it was, but someone interviewed someone, and they're like, "Hey, are we gonna get Kirby Air Ride 2 or whatever?" And they were literally surprised, like, "Wow, people actually like that game."
Yeah, a lot. It's like one of the most beloved Kirby games
It's a
for a
great
reason.
game. I played it.
Like even mainline Kirby games feel like they've kind of like, aside from Forgotten Land, obviously they finally figured it out. But like, it feels like they were playing it so safe for like a while.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Robobot was good, but like it's kind of like a
They're
name.
making
Like,
a remake of a Wii version, and there's apparently like an epilogue now. But it's like, does this game need an epilogue? Do we need an epilogue for Kirby's Return to Dreamland?
this game isn't even that old, but it's funny.
I don't know. I'm not really a big fan. It feels like what's happening right now is they've ported all the Wii U games they could, and now they're just going back to the Wii and they're doing like Skyward Sword.
Yeah,
Because they'll never port GameCube games except like.
Except
once
Metroid
every
Prime.
year.
We'll get to
Yeah,
that,
of course.
I'll get
Yeah.
to that, but I don't know.
Um,
I don't know. It's just kind of the most standard release of all time. It's very much just we need to fill out our release schedule, so just
Yeah.
remaster that game, I guess.
Did they we have? I don't know. We have Metroid Prime coming out this month now. It's like, did you ever really need? Maybe they have no faith in Metroid.
To be fair, I mean, there's like a completely separate audiences.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know. It's fun.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how much money this game makes Nintendo, because I can't imagine the port being that difficult.
No,
That's true, but then also
Kirby
like
sells-
families will buy it, so like it's gonna sell
I
like
think
2
it's a
billion
safe
copies.
2 million, 3 million. It's
Yeah.
a safe 2 million.
It's gonna sell a bunch of money. It's like
One, all right. Well, next up we had a huge bombshell. I was like, it's funny we say bombshell because this should have been like, on.
This should have been their day one.
Should have been like 3 years ago, but
Yeah.
Minimum 3 years ago. But you know what? No one expected it at this time, so it was a bombshell to me. Nintendo Switch Online, Game Boy, and then Game Boy Advance games revealed, and you could play them that day. So I actually played them, and emulation works. I don't have any problem with it. I would be kind of amazed if they messed it up, to be honest. My problem right now is I think these lineups are kind of not good. Like the Game Boy one is a little better, but the
Yeah.
Game Boy Advance one is like 6 games, and don't get me wrong, that's fine because 2 of them are RPGs.
No, it's not.
But it really should have been like at least. I don't know. Like the GBA has so many classic games, and it's like the best you guys can do is 6. Like I don't know. That's
Or
my
9 for Game Boy games.
It's like
What a Game Boy game just alone in the dark of a Game Boy Color.
one of them is like.
And one of them is Game & Watch Gallery.
That's a
Like,
good game.
I
That's
get,
a good
I
game.
get. Game & Watch Gallery has its fans, but I'm sorry,
I love
but
the fans.
like, there's so many cool games you could have.
Yeah.
And NES launched with 20 games, SNES, I forget how much that launched with, but that was a decent amount. N64 had 9 games. It was lame, but it was N64. You could at least make a case.
Yeah.
You know?
N64, I think it's fine because like we're only at like 20 now or something when all the things are going to be added. But N64 doesn't really have like that many bangers, to be honest with you. Not many games released for the console. Besides rare games, I think they pretty much hit all the ones they needed to. Game Boy and GBA, there are literally, you could have launched it with like 30 games each, honestly.
Yeah, very much.
I will say they're probably thinking long term and how if they keep a steady drip, they can keep the subscription numbers up.
Yeah.
I would agree if they didn't literally publicly state 1 second later that, oh, we have no plans to add more games. Oh, just do it. They even promise to add
more 5 more games coming.
But like,
yeah, they did, but then literally after that, they said, oh, we don't have to add more games.
No,
okay,
that's
cool.
not what they said. They didn't say that. They said they don't have a defined schedule for them.
Yeah, there's no schedule. Well, like when you have 2 games on your service, that's kind of unacceptable.
Yeah,
the thing too, though, is it doesn't even like you could argue that Game Boy games, that's why they're releasing them like in a drip feed schedule. But like Game Boy Advance, it doesn't even matter because everyone on EP is locked into a year-long subscription anyway.
Yeah.
You can't buy it by month, So like drip feeding makes no sense.
Like I'm just gonna point out for a second when the 3DS Ambassador program happened, there were 10 GBA games. 10.
That's true.
Like we should have at least had 10. And you know what's pissing me off? You know what pisses me off the most about both of these collections? There's no Pokemon. How do you have Game
I know.
Boy
I was just about to
license?
mention that actually.
How do you
There's
Don't
Pokemon.
worry, they'll do
trading
Pokemon
card
trading
game.
card
I don't.
game.
It's not. It's not Pokemon. I don't
There's
care.
a limited edition Pokemon card inside, Jeff. That's what it says on the box.
I think
I'm pretty
Pokemon's coming. We saw them eventually get to Pokemon Virtual Console on the 3DS
Yeah.
console
Yeah.
with Red, Blue, and eventually Crystal. So
Except they sold them at a premium price too. They sold Pokemon
Yeah.
Red,
That sounds
Blue, and Yellow each for $10.
I don't know.
Whereas like the rest of the Game Boy games were like $5.
you know what? $10 for
I get it.
that kind of Pokemon game is a deal versus having to like go buy a legit copy somewhere else. So I'm not even mad about $10.
I agree.
There's enough
I
content
agree.
in Pokemon where I think the price you could make.
Yeah.
Like I don't think. Listen, like there's a difference between paying $5 for, Tetris versus paying $5 for Pokemon, Gold. It's a huge difference in my opinion.
I agree. It's just weird that like they chose they have all their first party games, but Pokemon is double the price. From
They know exactly what they're
They
doing.
know. But you know what? Pokemon Day is in like 5 days from now, from the time we're recording this. So maybe by the time we release this podcast, this will be outdated, and Pokemon
Maybe.
Red and Blue will be shadow dropped, and we'll all be.
I kind of doubt it.
kinda
I very much doubt it.
I doubt it.
I don't
They'll
care
be
about
shadow
like,
drop, but they will say we have plans to bring these games sometime in the future.
it'll
It's gonna be like 2 years later.
the thing I really want is some kind of Battle Frontier on Nintendo Switch. I am dying for that.
Battlefront 2. Yeah.
So that would have to be Emerald if it came through GBA console, because I doubt we're gonna get Platinum or Heart Gold Soul Silver
no.
on Nintendo Switch.
I doubt we're even gonna get Emerald.
Yeah, I know. We'll probably get Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Yeah. they're not
Actually, maybe not, because they'd probably just release Red and Blue and not
Here's-
the remasters, would they?
Here's the biggest argument
Yeah.
I'm worried about for Pokemon Red and Blue and Fire Red and Leaf Green is that Game Freak are going to be like, oh, well, we released Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which are Kanto games, because we re-release Kanto games every 2 seconds.
You're so right.
So they're
Well,
going to look at that
fair,
and
but
be
they
like,
also-
no, we're not doing it.
They also ported Link's Awakening DX when they already did.
That's
the-
true, but Game Freak,
Ooh.
Game Freak's a
Game,
different...
game,
This is a Game
yeah,
Freak.
yeah, Game Freak are different. They are like literally
Freak is
the
very
most
special.
greedy
You're right.
like company ever to
So,
exist.
We'll see. And,
They would do that.
and if like Let's Go Johto or something is announced at the Pokemon Day, we can just say goodbye. I think we can just say goodbye to all Pokemon games going to service. Is all I'm gonna say.
I will say, literally, the only hype thing about GBA for me, besides the fact that they're delaying Fusion because of course they are, is the fact that you can play Mario Bros. Online. I do like that. The GBA Online specifically is the only thing I actually hype about.
So,
I
Yeah,
also-
Mario Kart Super
hold
Circuit
on.
sucks. Like, I would never want to play that game with people.
I don't even
Well,
think Super
I
Circuit's that
also-
bad, but it's like, why am I
I'd
gonna
love to
play
play Super
it?
Circuit with Samus.
Why am I gonna play Super Circuit when I can play Mario Kart 8? Like, there's no.
No, exactly. Mario Kart 8 is a much better game, and I don't think a single person owns a Switch and does not have Mario Kart 8.
Mhm.
I
I technically
also,
don't own it, but I also had no people that own it. Like, in my house, so it's fine.
I also looked this up. I can confirm that Pokemon Snap is also on NSO as well as a remake separately. So there
Well,
you
it's
go.
not a remake; it's a new game.
It's a new game.
So.
Well, fair,
Yeah,
but
it's a new game. It's not it's a
Anyway,
sequel.
my final take on this is I'm happy with an asterisk for GBA and GB support. I'm happy. And
I'll be honest.
Nintendo's retro game distribution has just been so like hit or miss because they want to drip feed it so they can keep the service going for like 20 years or something, you know. So
I
it's just,
have to keep pointing this out that like, the Wii U gets shit on, and rightfully so. Sorry, I you might have to censor me on that.
Cardo.
Uh-huh.
Cardo. This is my punch. You think I care?
it's on a second channel. I didn't care.
I don't even care if it's on the main channel. You're fine.
All right. But like, it at least had it had Wii and DS games by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing that really annoys me is the fact that the Game Boy one, the one that's like less money, has more games.
I'd rather play the Game Boy Advance games though if I'm gonna play.
I agree. I agree with that. I do.
Yeah, but I'm saying the one you literally pay more for has less content that you're paying for.
Well, I don't know about less content because a lot of GB.
It depends on what you want to play. I'd want to play. I a lot of times I use the Virtual Console on Switch for not for long gaming sessions, but short gaming sessions.
Like,
So stuff
I
like
agree with that.
WarioWare is perfect for that because I like WarioWare a lot.
I agree they're better games. I'm just saying from like an objective like what they're offering their consumers. It's kind of funny to think that the GBA games are getting like the most like screwed over when you have to pay extra in order to access them.
We'll have to see what happens.
As opposed to Game Boy, where they're like, yeah, he's like 9 games, whatever. It's like, okay.
Yeah, all games aren't created equal though, in my opinion. And I know there's been a lot of hate for the GBA lineup, but personally, I think it's a stronger lineup. For what my interests are, because Minish Cap, Superstar Saga, those are very good and complete games.
That's true.
Those are
Super Mario Bros. 3. That's like the definitive version of that game.
And the
It's
e-reader
really good.
cards. You have the e-reader cards there too. So you
That's
actually-
true. I never got to play with the e-reader cards, so
Yeah,
That is true. I don't know. I still think they should have been more than 6 games. I
I
still
think there
think
should
that's
have been,
absolutely unforgivable.
I think there
in my
should have been 10. I'd say like you should have like all the Mario Advance games in my opinion. I don't
The
know
GBA has like at least like 40 games that are like easily smash hit
Yeah,
titles. Should
I'm
be on
not-
here.
I'm
They added like 0% of them because they just want to drip feed them eventually. Like
you know what would be
do it, like-
good?
What?
The Sonic Advance games.
Yeah.
Those games are really good.
I was
I want
saying that,
Monkey Ball
actually.
Jr. on Game Boy Advance Online.
I want
We'll never do
dogs.
it.
I want dogs to be imported.
I'll never do it.
I'll never do it, but I'll forever haunt
Nobody
Monkey
will
Ball
ever
Twitter
get
until
to
they
know
do
what
it.
Monkey Duel really is.
That's just a fight at every Monkey Ball Twitter post was with white. When you gonna add Monkey Ball
To
Jr.?
make a Twitter account, like it's been 10 days, X amount of days since.
You can transform
Junior
the
has not
Monkey
been
Ball
released.
Adventure Carno video account.
Did you do that?
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we should move on to the next announcement. But
Yeah.
so right after that, we kind of had a bombshell. Now, this has been rumored and leaked by quote-unquote insiders for like 3 years. And everyone was always like, oh, Metroid Prime remastered, it's coming. First it started with a remake, a trilogy being remade. Then I think it went down to like remasters, and then it went down to like one game was being remastered. But it came out, and I am not a Metroid person, but I know Ninja is, so I'm going to let him talk for a minute or two.
I don't know. I was very, very skeptical with the rumors because I was worried. Nintendo really loves to make a sequel to a game like 20 years later and just give zero context for it, and it just sells like 5 copies. Like Metroid Dread suffered from that very heavily. It's like, hey guys, here's the 5th entry in the series. Anyway, we'll give you 0% of the old games. Buy this new one, and then like no one cared.
What do you mean? It had Super Metroid and
Metroid 1.
Metroid 1.
But yeah, with Prime specifically, because they're doing Prime 4, I was very much worried that they would only do Prime 1. Because, they would do that. They're like, okay, here's Prime 1, anyway, buy Prime 4, which they're still kind of doing, which is, I'm still very, very skeptical. Like, I enjoyed this release on its own. I do think the fact that it's obviously, like, a very well-done remaster, and the $40 price does soften my worries a little bit, but I'm just worried that they're gonna release this. It's a really good remaster 1, then they're just gonna like either directly port 2 and 3 for like $40 also or whatever. Nintendo move all the time.
Yeah.
That would be the move.
And then they'll be like, then no one will care because they're like literally a GameCube game. And then they'll drop Prime 4 and it'll be like, oh well, I mean, Or they'll just not do 2 and 3 and it'll just drop 4 anyway. It's like, great, thank you guys.
That's my concern because I don't see it as a $40 game. I see it as $120 for 3 games.
Which I don't.
When you can buy 3D All Stars, which is 3 games for, $60, which I think $20 is about the right price point for, GameCube era games. You just want to buy a standalone game. You know, we talked about Pokemon $10 for like Game Boy games, but like that's about the right price in my opinion. $20 is about the right price for a virtual console game like that.
Right.
At least what it comes down to if you bundle them together and sell them for 60 is a 1 game trilogy.
Yeah. I think it'll be fine doing 40 for each as long as they actually remake each of them. Because I feel like when they're remade, I do think they're worth the $40 price. They're decently long games.
Yeah, because it's barely even remastered. It's almost a remake.
It's basically a remake. So like if they remake all 3, I think they're all pretty long games. They're beefy enough of experience. I think I would still recommend all of them if they were remade. But like they literally just put 2 and 3 for like $40 or something.
I don't think they will. I remember seeing this rumor.
Even if it's like 20, I think it'd be kind of skeptical. I'd be very kind of skeptical about it.
I don't think they have a release module in place for that. I don't think Nintendo is the type of company where it's like, all right, we're just gonna drop it's weird. Like I don't know. I just don't see them dropping like a GameCube, quote unquote virtual console release on the Switch. And maybe if down the line, if they have a more streamlined thing where they're like, all right, we're gonna sell GameCube games for $20 a piece. But right now, I don't see it. Nintendo doesn't have that type of thing in place. It doesn't seem real to me.
I just feel like it'd be a giant slap in the face to every Prime fan if they literally do this beautiful remake of Prime 1 that perfectly updates the game, then just give you 2 and 3. It's like, okay, it's like, cool guys, just drop the GameCube ROM into my Nintendo Switch. It's like, okay, cool, whatever guys. I would be mad. I actually prefer Prime 2 to Prime 1, so I would be very mad.
That's fair.
But that being said, Prime 1 Remastered is very good. I don't have many complaints about the game itself. I just don't. Its release in context with Prime 4 is what's going to worry me, mainly.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'll definitely be buying that. I've been kind of just waiting, because there's a lot coming out this year. But do you guys have anything else to say on that one? Or?
I do think the fact that it was Shadow Draft is pretty significant.
That's
cool.
That's
just that's very unexpected. I do hope that means that 2 and 3 will get some kind of anything. Mm-hmm. It feels weird just to Shadow Drop 1. It's like, yeah, anyway, here you go. Next game, it's like, okay, all right, guys. I don't know. I just don't want 2 and 3 to get completely ignored, because I think they're both completely valid entries in this trilogy. It feels weird. It's like if you remade Pikmin 1 and then just ported the Pikmin 2 GameCube ROM. It's like, okay,
it'd be weird.
Why not Pikmin 2? What about the build up for Pikmin 2? They exist. They
might just combine Metroid 1 and 2 marketing strategy together. Like, hey, Prime 2's coming out. You can already play Prime 1 to get ready for Prime 2.
Yeah, that'd be cool, but I don't know. I just want to remake Prime 2. If they don't remake Prime 2, I will be angry. I don't care if it's $2. I'll still be mad because it feels disrespectful.
I think there's a chance they'll do the whole what we're doing this thing, a whole. You can buy Metroid Prime, if maybe, and then as a digital bonus or a digital reward to people who bought it, they'll give you a little ROM of Metroid Prime 2. That'd be
cool. Except they'll never do that because they're Nintendo. They absolutely would not do that.
Well, I was mostly saying, we're going to release Prime 2 and then go buy Prime 1 right now if you want to get caught up on the series or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'd be good. I just hope they do them in order. I hope it's not here's Prime 1 remastered, and then here's 4, or here's Prime 1 remastered, then 2 GameCube ROM.
Well, that's one thing we have to talk about in this direct. That Prime 4 is missing, so I think there's some time before we get to Prime 4. I think we gotta.
I'm expecting Prime 4 to be delayed to the next console, because then they'll give them time to remaster 2 and 3, which would make me happy.
Then the launch lineup will have more than no games.
Yeah, and then they have Holiday.
If the rumors are true, then they're not even making. They outsource 2 and 3. So
I'm very, very worried about 2 and 3. I hope they're at least good. If I get they don't have to be exactly as good as Prime 1 remastered, but I expect effort. I want effort to be put into them at the very, very least.
All right.
I don't know. I can rant about Metroid all day. So let's move on.
I'll cut off.
To make a video about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we have 2 games that I don't think either of us are going to be able to say.
No.
Baten
It
Kaitos
exists.
1 and 2 HD remastered. Cool. Happy for the people who wanted it. Anyone have anything to say? Anyone?
I like to
one
think
person
that
I
this
followed
is
on
the kind
Twitter
of
wanted
thing
it.
where- Yeah, I like to think that this is the kind of thing where like there are like two fans and they're just popping off right now.
Yeah, it's
Someone
like, let's
was-
go.
You know what? If it's a good enough deal, I've heard about these games for decades. If I see it for like a good enough deal, I'll buy it. How about that? Like, you
And
know,
then
$10 or something.
and is that detective game? It was made by Phenomenon Danganronpa. It looks like it was made by
Fantasy
Phenomenon Danganronpa.
There was a Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time.
Oh yeah, it literally looks like My Sims.
That was embarrassing. It looked like a 3DS game, to be honest with
It
you.
does.
It looked like
It
they
was-
took the first 3DS game, and
It's like literally like an Animal Crossing ripoff. Like it has like the exact same like house layout and everything. It's a really shameless.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember
that I know
That existed.
I remember that game was like announced in like 2016, which was like one of Nintendo's worst years. So that first one. So
By the way, I can confirm that this was almost definitely the European Direct. Because one of the things they put is WBSCE Basketball Power Pros.
listen,
Which I
What is
do
that?
not remember from the American Direct.
no, that was in there. That was in there. But we're skipping ahead. I'll
Yeah,
let.
yeah.
Oh, it wasn't there yet.
I don't think any of us have played Professor Layton besides
Oh my
Mr.
goodness.
Mojungo. So
Uh-oh.
we'll let him take
Mojungo
over on
rant.
this one.
Yeah.
So admittedly, I'd only played the original trilogy up until this past week,
Wow.
which was
Okay.
entirely on the DS. And then I'm gonna work through the what's called the prequel trilogy
Yeah.
right now. So I played the first one in that series, and they basically done those 6 games for like the main games, and then they'd kind of done mostly spin-off kind of mobile type games. Level 5 has, and they did do a big collaboration of Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, which was a game that I did not play because I'm not a Phoenix Wright fan. But
No.
I tried one game, wasn't my style, you know? Didn't tickle my fancy. But
Which one did you try? I have to know now.
I don't remember. This was like
Was it, like, on
15
the
years
DS
ago.
or, like, what?
But anyways, the best way to describe Professor Layton games is you solve puzzles, and it is a little bit of a visual novel type game,
Mhm.
but you solve puzzles frequently enough, and they're integrated well into the story. Most of them are integrated well into the story, at least, that you feel like you're actually driving forward the story because I solved this puzzle to unlock this door, or get out of this tricky situation, right? And I would describe the games as like a mix between Sherlock Holmes, Scooby-Doo, and Miyazaki films.
Mhm.
Because at least on the DS, they had, at least for DS quality, very good voice acting and animation for cutscenes.
Mhm.
And a lot of the puzzles did utilize the touchscreen on the DS. So part of what concerns me though is we're moving on to the Switch, and I think it was briefly mentioned with one of the other games. It's like, how do you take a series forward to the next generation? And I am concerned because I'm sure the puzzles will be less touchscreen focused.
Yeah.
And moving from DS quality graphics to Switch quality graphics, which, not saying Switch graphics are top of the line, but
Mhm.
way better than DS quality
Oh, yeah.
graphics.
I mean, it's a constant.
And-
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so upping the animation quality and art for that will be interesting to see done.
Mhm.
Because I in my head, I hadn't played a game in probably 10 years, a Professor Layton game.
Mhm.
So in my head, I'm like, okay, the games, had this really great, unique art style. And then I see the Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Direct teaser. I immediately knew as soon as I saw the first frame of the teaser that it was Professor Layton, just because the art style is that distinct. And, nice HD crisp. I go back and replay that game from 2011, and I'm like, oh, wow, I don't remember how pixelated this game was.
Right.
That was like me when I went from Metroid Prime Remastered to the original. I was like, oh, that's different.
I mean, like, I'm not. I've never played one of the games games, but I recognized it like fairly early on. Like it's a pretty reputable franchise, so I'm very glad. I'm very glad for everyone to see it. I've been meaning to get into it at one point. It's like one of those games that's on the never-ending list of pain of my ever-growing games I need to play. So I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
Yeah, the first game, Curious Village, very good game to get into the series and give you an idea of what to expect. You know, I won't talk too much about it, that game specifically, because, you know, spoiler-heavy game.
Fair.
At least the first one for sure, because there's, you know, it's a mystery game. It's like Scooby-Doo, you know, you yank the mask off, it's like, oh, old Mr. Jenkins, you were behind this? You know, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, unless you have anything else to say, I guess we can move on to our next list.
Oh, the other thing I forgot to say is I thought the series was good as dead.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago,
Uh-huh.
or something like about a couple of years ago, I feel like Level 5 said that they weren't going to do too much with Professor Layton. Like, technically, they ported a mobile game onto the Switch. I don't even know how many years ago, maybe a couple years ago as well. But they said they didn't have any plans to really release a new game, like a legitimate Professor Layton game.
Right.
So this was a very welcome surprise for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, and the internet, I've seen a lot of people popping off over it. And, yeah, I think they released this, or they're planning it at the perfect time where the DS nostalgia is rampant right now. DS, like Wii U, GameCube, so good release or good announcement. I personally need to get into the series, but yeah. So next up we had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 4 DLC, and this looked really good. I don't know if you guys felt the same. I thought it looked really good, and almost as good as something we would have seen in the base Mario Kart 8. Which is sad that we have to say that, because the first wave of DLC, it was fun, but it looked bad.
Yeah.
So I think it looks great. Like, Birdo's back. I can't believe it took them 10 years to add Birdo to the game when Birdo should have just been there day one. I popped off too, because I'm not like I don't specifically go out of my way to play as Birdo, but
I do.
It's like I probably will when she comes out, just for the hype. But it's like more so for me. It's like that was like the character. Every GameCube game I played, spin-off, every character, every game Birdo was there. And so it's like weird that like nowadays they just don't put Birdo in any game. So it's like when I saw
They
there,
do put Birdo and stuff.
Not as-
that was just in Mario Kart 8 specifically, because like she was in like Tennis Aces, she was in like Mario Golf. She's been in like all the spin-off games.
Fair enough. Well, for some
She's
reason,
in, like Wii.
I think it's also a problem with Mario Kart 8 specifically. I think the character roster in that game is kind of bad, or maybe not bad, but it's not.
It's so bloated.
It's bloated. There's the Koopalings. There's all the costumes. It's like they missed key players like Birdo.
There's still no Diddy Kong.
There's no Diddy Kong. Funky Kong, I'm not going to sit here and say is a necessity, but he is a fan favorite.
Definitely
a
necessity.
Well, he's a legend from Mario Kart Wii, though.
Yeah, so it's like everyone wants him. And so like they didn't add Bowser Jr. till like the deluxe version, which Bowser Jr. should have just been in the game.
That's actually unforgivable.
Yeah, like, that's great. Like the original, if you look at the original Mario Kart 8 roster, just trash in my opinion. Even with the DLC, it's just
Better than Mario Kart 7's roster, but...
What do you mean? Queen Bee?
You have
Queen Bee Wiggler. Wiggler is the best character.
And Lakitu. That was the debate.
I actually enjoyed Wiggler, not gonna lie.
I played Wiggler.
Why?
I played Wiggler in 7. So it's funny. It's a funny game.
It was funny. It was amusing.
Yeah, I'd be okay if they brought him over. And you know what's the best part? This was not announced in the direct, but in a press release after that, or I don't know, press release, but whatever, something where they confirmed that more characters are going to come in the future waves. So
Pretty cool.
I'm excited for that. That to
They're
me,
gonna add the medal option for every possible character.
that would be so good. Yeah.
Metal Birdo, let's go.
The most optimistic things you can think of is like Funky Kong, Petey Piranha, Diddy Kong, and then like I don't know, something else. That's like the most optimistic.
Baby bird. They're gonna add metal babies.
No. I don't know. Also, going from Wave 1, which I was genuinely like very disappointed by, I was like, oh, they literally just sold out completely. They're just adding tour tracks for $25. So like, going from that to like the modern packs that are like genuinely trying, I do think they actually listen to the feedback, which is nice to see.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. I mean, it looks even not just in graphics but thematically. this is something they would have done in like the the Mario Kart 8 Wii U DLC, which was amazing. This is a great idea. I don't think Yoshi's Island's ever been converted. It's a great idea. No one expected like a new track, especially like an all new track type of thing. So I'm excited. That was a really happy announcement for me. We only saw one of 8 tracks, which pisses me off. Why not show the whole thing? It's coming out probably a month, but whatever. You know?
I don't know. The DLC will never replace the Mario Kart 9, but I do think it's at least nice that they're making it worth the money.
I like my hot take. I like the booster. This might be an argument for another day. I like the booster pass. I think it's.
I mean, they're making it worth the $25 value.
I've enjoyed it. I've been enjoying it.
It is very much getting to the point where it's forgivable.
Because even even
That's
Wave 1, which looks trash. Wave 1 looked horrible. I had fun with it. I still have fun with it. So that's good. Then there was WBSC eBaseball. Yeah, I don't.
Skip.
Next.
There was someone I follow on Twitter that likes that series. That's all I have to say with it.
I could not care less. I also don't like sports games. But even I think people who like sports games, like
wake
Mojungo,
me up when they bring Mario Baseball over.
Like Mojungo,
Yeah, I mean, I like sports games, but that's a hard skip.
Yeah. All right, let's just get to the one everyone wants to talk about: Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I have a few choice words for this trailer. I think it was fine. I don't think it was the best trailer. I also want to say that anyone who's like seen the spoilers on Twitter, just be sure not to say it. Any spoilers if you guys, because let's just talk about this trailer just in case.
So I haven't seen any spoilers,
Okay.
but I did analyze. I did make my own analysis of this trailer and compared it to some of the Breath of the Wild trailers because, and I want to say my first note that I have for Tears of the Kingdom is less is more. And that's what I would want from a trailer like this, especially after the experience that was Breath of the Wild,
Right.
where knowing less contributed to a better experience for me.
That's fair. That's fair. And at this point, that's part of the reason I'm not looking at leaks, because we've gone this long with so minimal information that at this point, I almost don't, if they had like announced a Tears of the Kingdom direct, I don't think I'd watch it at this point, to be honest with you. I think I want to kind of just go in blind. We're so close to the release. We've only had like 3 trailers, and 2 of them were like 10 seconds. I want to go in. I want to go in more blind at this point. So that is a fair point. That being said, I still didn't feel that excited. I guess seeing this trailer. I've already pre-ordered the game, so it's like I'm not boycotting. I don't know. What do you got, Ninja and Carter? What do you guys think?
I think it's on its own. Like it's an okay trailer. The problem is with the new surprise reveal of $70 release date, or not release date, release price for the game. You kind of felt like they should have justified it a little bit more in this trailer. Like, they're gonna like try to like they basically snuck in the price freeze. Like, honestly, I almost feel like if it didn't leak the day before, less people would have been concerned about it. To be honest, maybe that's just me exaggerating, but I don't know. The game itself looks fine. I'm sure it'll be better than the original, obviously. I'm sure it'll be a banger game, worth the money, whatever, but I don't know. It still kind of feels like they're leaving... Just like I like knowing nothing to some degree, but I also feel like your consumers should know why there's a $10 price increase for your game that's using the exact same engine from 5 years ago. It does feel kind of a bit scummy to some degree. I don't know. I mean, I feel like we learned a lot, but we also learned very little at the exact same time.
I kind of feel the same way.
Like, wow, there's always new mechanics. Okay, and it's just like ends. I don't know. It's a good trailer on its own. I just feel like it still kind of doesn't answer any of this. Like, I'm more concerned about the price increase more than the actual trailer, I guess. The actual trailer is like fine. Like, it reveals, enough where it's like, oh, that's interesting. But
maybe this is the wrong attitude, but I really don't. I don't care about the price increase because I'm like, I'm gonna buy it anyway because I like Breath of the Wild so much. So I'm just gonna ignore that the price increase is a thing because it's just not worth stressing about or just getting negative energy about because it's like, well, it's not. I can't change that personally, so
I mean,
I'm just gonna
by not buying
somewhat
the
ignore
game,
that.
but that's not gonna happen. So.
Exactly, I'm gonna buy the game.
I know deep down I can say
I pre-ordered it for $60, so technically I won. So.
Yeah, I also pre-ordered for $60.
So I don't really care at this point.
GameStop left $60 up on their website. Me and Ninja took advantage of it the second we saw it.
I will say, if it was still $70, I would have actually not bought it. I'm saying that with full certainty.
Listen. Breath of the Wild is my second favorite game of all time, and it's very close. It's in between that and Xenoblade 3, and I almost feel like I can switch the two. So I could sit here and say I wouldn't have bought it for $70. I feel like I probably would have caved. Like I said the same thing about Scarlet and Violet. I still bought it. And, it was still $60, but the game was broken at launch, or so. So
Still broken.
It's still broken. Maybe that'll change soon. There's a patch coming this month.
No, there's no shot.
There's no way.
It's so broken. There's no way they can fix that.
I know. Listen, a man can dream, right? But I could sit here and say I wouldn't have bought it. I know myself deep down. A sequel to my second favorite game. I think it's stupid, but I think I would have caved. So it's like it's very hard. But I got it for $60, so I'm good.
Yeah. I don't know. For me personally, like Pikmin was coming out like 2 months later. I would have just waited.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I like Breath of the Wild. I still haven't technically beaten Breath of the Wild. I would have just done that instead, to be honest.
That's fair. I also already put like 160 hours into Breath of the Wild, to be fair.
That being said, $60. Okay. Sure.
It's not even the price. It's not even the money necessarily. It's more of like the principle.
It's the principle. Like it's $70. Like could I spend $70 on Breath of the Wild 2? Yeah, but like, do I want to support Nintendo charging $70 for Breath of the Wild 2? Definitely not. Easily not.
Yeah. But
So.
I don't know. Here's a question for you guys: how long do you think it is before mainline Pokemon games are 70?
The next game, easily. Like they're gonna literally announce a spin-off next year. I guarantee it's gonna be $70. Just kidding. I'm not joking. But Gen 10 will be $70. Like easily.
If they can release a game that, I bet Scarlet and Violet wasn't completely broken, it would have been 70.
Maybe.
It could have been. It very realistically could have been.
Because there's no way all those Nintendo execs and their pride with the Nintendo seal of quality could release Pokemon as a $70 game when it was that broken, but they could, scum out a $60 Pokemon game and be like, hey, at least it's fun.
They really don't care at this point. They would literally release the game like they would release like Pokemon like paperclip and stapler next if they wanted to, and people would still buy it. It doesn't matter.
I'm heavily predicting right now on this podcast that Pokemon games, like mainline ones at least, are going to be $70 from here on out. I'm predicting it.
They have. There's no way they wouldn't.
No way.
Pokemon Company's the most greedy company ever. They will.
And I agree. I think it probably was at least in discussions for Scarlet.
And I will gladly not buy them ever again for my entire life.
I have this somewhat unpopular opinion that, I think that the $70 Breath of the Wild 2 is a lot less egregious than when Nintendo charges $60 for a lot of their games that really shouldn't be.
I think they're
Mario Tennis Aces, $60, really? Mario Golf Super Rush, $60.
Link's Awakening.
My counter to that is a lot of those games don't have paid DLC. So really, Breath of the Wild as a game was not $60. It was $60 plus the DLC to truly get all the content.
Which I did not buy a DLC.
And so Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be $70 plus DLC as well.
Probably
so
30.
It's gonna
probably like $100.
I don't mind that though, because you're still getting a full game besides that. I mean, expansion passes have been a thing since the 90s. You always had a full game that you bought for full price, and if you wanted a little more, then you got the expansion pass, Like, if Breath of the Wild was like half of a game, or like half the dungeons were gone or whatever, like blatantly cut, it's like, oh, you need the DLC to fill those 2 extra dungeons in, then like, yeah. But like, Breath of the Wild was a full game, so I didn't mind them having the $20 DLC,
Mm-hmm.
Well, my point is that, it was a full game, and then you got DLC. Whereas, like, Mario Golf Super Rush, you get a full game, but there's going to be no DLC.
Debatable.
That's debatable.
I enjoyed Mario Golf Super Rush.
I'm definitely on Cardinal's side here, because like the Pokemon games are literally like the least finished games ever released, and they still get like $30 DLCs, and people conning them beyond belief. I think that's basically the same thing. Except even worse.
I feel like Pokemon is in such a trash situation; it shouldn't even be mentioned in these types of conversations.
Yeah, that's true. Pokemon just shouldn't even exist anymore. To be honest, I think they should just stop making Pokemon games for like 10 years and just make a game that's actually good.
Yeah,
Lost
I mean, I guess it's more so the question of what games do you guys think will be $70 in the future? Because Pikmin 4, which is by far the second biggest game that's coming out this year from Nintendo, at least that we know of, it's 60, and that if by the same logic, I could have easily seen them pricing it at 70. I'm surprised they didn't.
I know.
Honestly.
I don't see him charging 70 for Mario just because I don't know this Mario is very much like a family kind of game. Like Zelda is very much like a hardcore Nintendo gamer kind of franchise. So it feels weird to to charge 70 for Mario when it's a game that
you say that,
for the children.
but Grandma's gonna go to the store and she's gonna know Mario and Zelda as the two names.
That's true, but I feel like a lot of parents already kind of $60 is already kind of a high ask, for a lot of people. So once it becomes 70, that's even higher of an ask for a lot of parents. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, my mom would not.
I feel like a lot of parents would definitely hesitate to buy a $70 Nintendo game for their child for Christmas. I'm just saying.
It'll be interesting because I certainly think that Mario, they'll have a hard. You'd have to really justify a $70 Mario game.
Yeah. I don't think
Zelda game at least you could say people, pretty much everyone in my family has put, except me, funny enough, has put hundreds of hours into Breath of the Wild. They still play it to this day. They've restarted it so many times. So when they found out it was $70, okay. I got more than $60 out of this game, so...
It could definitely depend on how they release it. Because, if every Nintendo game going forward is $70, I think that'd be literally just completely blasphemous garbage. But obviously, if they're, going to reserve it for, the games that have, an absurdly the high amount of content, or, only those are the $70 games, I'm like, you know what? I might be kind of okay with that.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know, if literally every mainline Nintendo game is $70 from now on, I'll definitely have a huge issue.
But that's not happening because we, like I said, Pikmin 4, which is easily the second biggest game coming out that we know of this year. Okay. That's not 70. I'm surprised. Yeah. I'll say that I was expecting it to be 70, but that's 60.
I don't know.
So we'll see. I don't know. It is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little bit telling that Metroid was still 40, so I don't think they're completely selling out yet as a company. Completely.
I really wonder if the development cost of this game just taking so long in this era specifically, and the difficulties that must have come with it. I almost wonder if they really just did not see themselves making that much of a profit off this game, and they were like, we need
I really doubt that. I really doubt that.
This is a 6-year development cost. It is minimum. That I can understand that.
The development cost is high, but it's Zelda. It's Legend of Zelda.
Right.
It's going to sell an absurdly high amount of money.
When did we get the direct where it said we are currently working on Breath of the Wild 2?
That's 2019. That's 4
Yeah.
years ago. So.
But they also said that they started right after the original Zelda because it was going to be, this game was going to be DLC, but they just had so many ideas all right, we'll finish this DLC, and in the meantime the rest of us are going to start work on the next Zelda.
I don't know, just seems kind of
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I am curious what direction this game is going to take, because knowing how Nintendo works, they're obviously going to make it a good bit different. You know? Looking at what they did in, say, Ocarina of Time versus Majora's Mask, right? Same engine, but wildly different games.
Right.
Nintendo is not one to just here's the same game again. They'll literally go out of their way to make it a complete different
This is one thing that's really interesting.
Even if fans want them to.
Here's one thing that's really interesting is that there was actually, I watched a direct or a trailer analysis from Tears of the Kingdom. There's actually a full underground cave system that you see for a few seconds, and it's that's awesome. That not only are we gonna get the above ground Skyward Sword type of thing, but we're also getting caves and and they also showed in the analysis there's caves in the background that have areas that were not there in the first Breath of the Wild. And in my mind, I'm wow, that's awesome. Why are you guys not making a bigger deal of that in the direct? That would have been a killer way to advertise the game. but it's like 2 or 3 seconds that scrolls by really quick that you might not even realize. And I gotta wonder why, because that gave to me like hope that this game will be really good and different, because that's huge. That's huge to me. Like a whole underground system. That's kind of like what Elden Ring had, I think, from what I played of Elden Ring. So that was a huge deal to me. So I don't know. I don't know why they didn't show that.
Definitely be emphasizing the sky parts and the arm that can
that's cool.
reverse time or whatever with like mechanics or whatnot.
Well, to be fair, the sky gameplay is a lot easier to market than like cave gameplay.
I think listen, I think caves are sick.
They're cool, but like it's a lot more flashy in a trailer to see Link falling from the sky.
As someone who got like exactly one major thing spoiled, which I won't say, but someone who got exactly one thing spoiled by those leaks or whatever, like this game is gonna be really cool. Is all I'll say, But
yeah, I think so too.
This trailer should have been what we got in the September Direct, is what I'll say.
Yeah, the Direct trailer was literally complete garbage. Just complete trash. I'm sorry. I'm still mad at that this very day.
The one thing that I'm still in the dark about, because, not looking at any spoilers, but I'm curious about is how the story will be presented. Because they did it in a very unique and deliberate way in Breath of the Wild 1, where there was story, but you had to go out and see it. And in this trailer, it looked like there will be more story in this game. But then I went and looked at one of the Breath of the Wild trailers, and they showed a similar amount of story in that trailer as well. So I'm curious to see if we'll still have the go out and get it story or a more directed story in this game, which I'm sure we're still going to have a lot of the exploration elements from Breath of the Wild.
That's what I
in
want.
Tears of the Kingdom, especially when it comes to the story, but I'm curious if it'll be a little bit more of a game where you're directed on what's happening with, with Zelda or something. I don't know. It's hard to tell because you see Zelda a lot in the Breath of the Wild trailers, but really it was just all the flashback cutscenes, so it's hard to tell if those are similar cutscenes we're seeing in Tears of the Kingdom or if she will be a little bit more of an integral part of the story.
All I'm gonna say is that I think that the story is gonna be a lot more prominent than Breath of the Wild.
To be fair, I mean, it makes sense.
On the mechanics and stuff.
They kind of have to. I think it's a direction.
It kind of has to be. I mean, there could always be a chance with the whole it's kind of implied to have like a time mechanic. There's always a chance that maybe it's go back in time to see like stuff that happened in the past, and that's where most of the story is.
I mean, it's hard to be less prominent.
I don't know. I mean, depends on how. I have no idea. I'm just I'm trying to guess
like how out of the way Breath of the Wild story was, but I know that was kind of a divisive thing,
Because they might. I mean,
I was definitely a fan of it. I also just enjoy exploring like random worlds like that. So
that's fair.
I enjoyed looking at these screenshots or like the little photo snapshots and trying to find where the memories were. And so those little parts were great, fun adventures for me when I was just trying to explore the world and see all the nooks and crannies of where shrines and Koroks were.
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely.
For me, I would definitely prefer a more prominent story because I have basically zero patience. I will look at a giant open world like Zelda. It's like, wow, that'll be really cool. And then I'll hit all the main Zelda Breath of the Wild. My first playthrough, I hit all the main story beats, and then I went straight to Ganon.
I don't know. I will say in the original Breath of the Wild, if you didn't literally go after every single piece of lore, that game had no story. And literally,
but I think that's how it was designed. That was the intention behind the design. It was supposed to be your adventure where. If you want, you could just run to Ganon and get your ass kicked in, or if you're really, really good at the game, like speedrunners are, that's your experience. That's your choice, though. If you want, the idea is you can seek it out, and that's something I really liked about Breath of the Wild personally. I think it worked. I think it worked in a lot of ways, but I'm okay if Tears of the Kingdom just wants to forego that because you're not, in my opinion at least, you're not going to capture that same magic that Breath of the Wild had. Breath of the Wild
definitely not.
Yeah, you can't replicate it. You can't replicate the exact same way that game worked. If the game is a more narrative-driven game with like waypoints or whatever crap that modern games have, stuff like that, I'm all good with that. I don't want this game to be, even if it's in the same map, I don't want it to be Breath of the Wild 2. Does that make any sense? I want it.
Yeah.
To,
I agree.
I want it to be another Zelda game. I'm not necessarily looking to experience the same game twice. I hope it captures some of that magic. I just don't think it will. So I want.
Yeah, there's a reason I haven't gone back and replayed Breath of the Wild. It's just
it's hard. Yeah.
Almost impossible to really recapture that magic of like, oh, I solved this once the first time. Like, I'm gonna use the example with the Korok puzzle with the trees and the fruit in the trees.
Yeah.
Like, it took me forever to realize what the puzzle actually was, because it's like, oh, there's these 3 trees here. They're not. There's a reason why they're here. It took me like multiple instances of seeing those trees before figuring out you had to get the apples to match.
Right.
And if I go replay that again, I can't refigure that out.
Right.
It just becomes a chore. Whereas the first time playing through, I figured it out, and then I see the trees like, haha, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I get a little Korok for that.
I had the same kind of experience where it was like I felt like I was on my own adventure in the first game, and it's like you see a divine beast and you're just like, holy crap. And you have no idea how to fight it, you have no idea how to go into it, and you have no idea what's inside. But nowadays it's like you see it and you're like, wow, it's still cool, but it's not the same as that first playthrough.
I mean, pretty much my only issue with Breath of the Wild 1 is that just some of like the individual area quests and stuff were kind of like fine. Like the one for like, I don't know, the bird divine beast was kind of forgettable. Like how you actually get to it was kind of whatever. And then like the actual divine beasts are cool, but I feel like they're kind of like they could be expanded very much, because they were cool, but they were basically like mini dungeons, which was obviously a major complaint from some people. But I mean, I didn't mind it as much. I just feel like they could.
That's gonna be my last question before we call it on this. But do you guys think there will be dungeons or some sort of dungeon replacement in Tears?
I think so.
Considering that there's
replacement
literally
for sure.
Considering that there's literally like an underground cave system, I imagine it's gonna be a huge part of it.
Yeah.
It's just that entire mechanic is a thing, because I feel like if you're just running around caves, it's gonna be kind of boring.
Because we haven't seen the what are they called? The runes either. We haven't seen the little
The shrines.
Shrines, that's what I mean to say.
I will say, I looked at the trailer. I haven't seen a single shrine.
I don't think shrines are there, and they're not. The shrines were supposed to be kind of like the dungeon replacement. I can't see them having almost zero puzzle elements to Zelda. So I think that means dungeons are coming back. I see it. I see it happening.
Well, shrines were also a means to explore the world.
Right.
And so there's going to be some incentive to explore the world again. It's not going to be something as trivial as Korok seeds, I have a feeling. Because
I hope. Yeah.
Those are, like, they put 900 of those, and they didn't even expect you to find all those.
Yeah, there's like whatever. Here's some poop. If you get them all, have fun.
Yeah, here's literally a gold poop.
They not care. Yeah.
There's probably going to be some kind of objective with about 100 different things to go and get, and I don't know. I'm curious to see what that'll be, but my prediction would be that there's going to be some equivalent to shrines when it comes to having a means to explore the world.
Right. Yeah, I think so, and I hope so, and we'll see. Maybe we'll do a podcast on that when Tears of the Kingdom comes out.
Tears of the Kingdom bingo.
Dude, we're doing it. We gotta get the whole gang back together.
Well, just wait like a month for Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, yeah, there's gonna be. I guess there's gonna be.
There needs to be like a grace period. We just play the game.
There's also gonna be no bingo card for at least like probably half a year.
while.
You'd be surprised. There's some bingo degens out there.
I don't know.
There's already a Breath of the Wild bingo community. Again, it's gonna take like a
That's
week.
true. Maybe if no one does it, I'll deal with it. I'll make one. I used to help with SNS bingo stuff, so maybe I'll come out of my retirement for Tears of the Kingdom. But I think that's where we should call it for today, because this podcast is definitely a little bit of a lengthy boy. But I mean, how could it not be when we're talking about all these games? We could have talked for probably at least 2 more hours, you know. But we do gotta draw it somewhere.
It was a very substantial direct. There was a lot of.
Yes.
I thought it was a very good direct overall. A lot of good stuff teased and released, and
Yeah.
announced.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm gonna go broke this year. There's so much stuff I want. There's so many games I want right now from Nintendo. This is the first time I felt this way as a Nintendo fan since 2017. So I'm very excited, and I know not every year is going to be like this because that's not how Nintendo works. But good year. I'm glad we're getting another good year on the Switch because this feels like the first good year we've had in a while, personally.
True.
Any other closing thoughts?
The Metroid. I'm happy.
Fair. Anything from you, Cardno?
I will say that was one of the best directs I've seen since E3 2021. I would say was the last one that I thought was like kind of held a candle to it. So I'm glad. I'm curious to see what they'll do for the next half of the year as well, because depending on what they do, this could be like maybe the most banger year of all time. You know.
I agree.
You know, if they have like one more like big heavy hitter in like the last half of the year, you know, let's just say Pipe Dream, they have like a new Mario game or whatever, coming out.
I think that was not.
It's possible. It's possible. You know.
Okay. I'll entertain your idea.
If they did, then this year would be as legendary as 2017. So
it would be more legendary at that point, to be honest.
But
I don't know, because we had not only Breath of the Wild, we had Mario Odyssey, we had Splatoon 2, we had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe release.
Yeah, but like I don't know, Pikmin 4, Metroid Prime, like Breath of the Wild 2. I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty good lineup.
It's gonna be close, especially with like me, because I love Xenoblade. I can't wait for the major DLC. So.
You mean you got Xenoblade 2 in 2017?
I have not played that. I have not played it yet. I'm gonna play it soon. But I've not played it yet. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on this podcast here. I know we could have talked about so much more, so I'm sorry if I cut anyone off about anything, but a lot of things we had to talk about. But where can we find your guys' socials if any of you want to promote them? I'll give this as a free time to do that.
I think they know mine.
YouTube.com/Carno. CarnoYT on Twitter, and that's it.
I don't know, Mojungo, you have anything like you want to plug? I don't even know if you do, but
Yeah, follow me on Twitch, Mojungo on Twitch. I might eventually get back to streaming something like Sunshine or Pokemon or maybe even Marvel Snap if you're into that sort of thing. I don't know. I've been thinking about streaming a little bit because it is fun, but sometimes I just like having a YouTube video on while I'm playing games or listening to music, and that's not really conducive to
that's how I've been recently too.
A streamer.
I've kind of lost my streamer touch. I'm a YouTuber now. So. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me, and we will
Always a pleasure.
see you the 1st of next month.